Live and getting YouTube up here. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Joy Joe. I have Dawn Marie and Candy today here. Videos, Monday. There we go. Whoops, it's on Monday. Okay, getting my YouTube up on the TV. All right, Dawn Marie and Candy, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Let's see if I can get that light out of the way. I do want some good light on this today, but if it glares, once we get a bunch of stuff on the table, it won't glare. Let's move that. How is everybody doing? It's been a whole weekend since we've seen you. Hey, Margie. First, hello, Angelo. Glad to have you here. Let's see, you snooze, you lose. Technically, we were. Cheryl, hi. Crafty-itis bug. Yes, I love that. Crafty-itis bug. That's nice. Hey, Sandy. How you doing? Howdy. Oh, Sandy got her box today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nice. Cheryl got her box today. I'm betting the chocolate's melted. Uh-oh. Is it getting hot? Maybe I better put something other than chocolate truffle if they're going to. Well, but they go out there pretty fast. I don't know. Do they really have time to melt? Okay, Cheryl, Sandy, if it's warm there and you think yours might be melted, once you open it and check it, please let me know. Because if so, for the summer, I'll swap out something else. Hello, Penny. Good to see you. Yeah, Margie, great minds. How you doing, Bo? You're still stranded, Penny? Oh, no, still waiting on car repairs. Hey, J-Mac, how are you? I'm so glad you saw the notice. Whoop, whoop. She's getting some of the new molds with the vintage library. Hey, Glennis, hello. Good to see you. Linda, hello. Let's see. Is there a big storm coming in somewhere to somebody? Linda, is it coming into you? Or am I just really late on the news? I haven't been watching the news, and I thought I heard somebody say something about a big storm, but it could be, nothing. It could be absolutely nothing. Moldy people. Happy crafty paper, moldy people. I love it. It's Moldy Monday because we all have molds. We love the molds because we love the paper collections. We want to do stuff with them. And I think that maybe we don't really know what to do with them. I'm trying to get my drink out of the way there so I don't knock it over. I know a lot of you have purchased a lot of molds. So we are going to talk about molds today and try to give you some confidence in using your molds. Let me bring my whole little moldy box over here. All right. These out of the way. Okay, so I'm specifically going to use the Stamperia molds because we like to get those with the paper collections. There's something off the coast, but there's still food in the store. So it's not super close yet, Linda. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Well, keep me posted if it is, because I tend to not listen to the news when it's not, always so happy. We like the Stamperia molds because we get them with the paper collections and we have ideas about books we can make. And I'm trying to find a blank piece of paper. There it is. Some mixed media projects we can do and things like that. So we get these molds, but then I've had people say, now I'm not sure what to do with the molds. So I thought it might be time for us just to have a day where we talk about molds and what can we do with them? How do we use them? What kind of products go in them? Show you some different things that we do, that we've done. And actually, we're going to try some things too. So we're always for trying new things in and with our products that we haven't tried before, because that's how we figure out more ways to use them. So you can see I've got something in one of these. and something in a couple of these. So I'm going to show you a couple different variations of things, but I want to start out with just some real, first, the basic of how do you fill your mold. Let's see. I will do let's do this. Ooh, let's do this. Okay. Lady Vagabond with her kitty cat Vagabond kitty. I really like this one because there's her hat, there's Kitty's hat with the goggles and everything. And there's Kitty in a couple of different positions. It's also got the stack of books, the hangings for the walls. There's some cool bottle art and clock with metal riveting on it and the old phonographs. So let's take that one and start with that one. In fact, I'm going to grab a mat that shouldn't reflect as bad and may also allow you to see the mold. They're hard to see on screen, I know, when there's nothing in them. Okay, now first thing to know is that when you use your molds, you do not need to coat them. Now, I can't speak for other brands of molds, but specifically for the Stamperia ones, you don't need to coat them. We have the Stamperia mixed media art, extra light soft clay.
Julie's come in.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Sarah.
Sarah.
Good to see you guys. And this clay I really like, and this is the clay that I have primarily used, although, hang on, moving a few things to the side there. I did order this Ranger clay. I only ordered one because I wanted to give it a try and see how I liked it, and I saved it to do with you so you can see how easily it works compared to the Stamperia, and you can just kind of hear my reaction as I'm using it. If I really like it and it works really well, then I will order it if you guys want it. The difference is this one is quick cure clay, and you're supposed to be able to cure it in minutes with a heating tool, not have to wait. So this one I let dry, just air dry. I have never bothered to use a heating tool on it. I suppose I probably could. Sometimes I turn the fan on, hoping it will speed it up a little bit. Here are the book spines here. Now, I didn't get some of these in until just a couple of days ago, day before yesterday. And I typically like to give them a little longer than that to cure, especially when I've added to them like these. I think this will be okay. Probably this one. This butterfly concerns me, and I'll show you how I did it, and we'll actually do it here on another one so that you can see the process, and then we'll see if that one is if it's dry enough to come out. I'm not sure that it is. I'll also show you how you can tell and what will happen if you do, or if it is or is not ready to come out. So let's start with the clay. So the clay is nice and soft, and this one package is 160 grams. I don't know what that equates to, but I remember when I first got it thinking, well, that's not going to do very much. I just ordered, all these molds, and I was really surprised at how far it went, how many molds I got filled with this one package of clay. So I'm going to take the clay out and I'm going to squeeze it together a little bit just to make sure that it's well blended and, not pieces flaking off. But let me caution you from doing this too much. Don't answer a phone call and then sit and do this while you're on the phone call, because the more you do it, the more it dries out. So you only want to blend it, together just a little bit to make sure it's together, and then use it immediately. If it sits out in the air, it starts to dry. As it dries, it just kind of becomes flaky. So when you try to squeeze it together, it's still a little flaky and a little harder to use. So, in fact, I'll tell you a funny story about that in a minute. So I'm going to do this book little stack of books right here, and I'm going to do the kitty cats. And so I only pulled out just this little chunk right here, but I'm going to start with the books. And I always want to pull out more than what I need because it's easier to pull out than it is to add. If I put clay in and then I go add more clay, I now actually have 2 pieces of clay that are going to harden separately, and they quite possibly will come apart once the mold is out. Does that make sense? If I've blended everything together before I put it in, and then I put it in, then I can cut off or scrape off the extra, and it's still one piece in the mold. So I'm going to start with this book here, and I'm just going to smash it in. And that's all you do, literally, is just smash it into the mold. And I don't really worry about it going over the edge because I can get all that extra off. And I'm smashing it in the mold. Already, I can see that all of this is excess. It's just
Sandy asked if you could add water if it dries out. No, it changes the consistency.
It does change the consistency. What I haven't tried, and I probably will let a little bit dry out again and try this. I haven't tried adding a little water and letting it just kind of sit to see if it will absorb it, in a closed container. I have not tried that. But as soon as I show you how to put this in, I'll tell you about some that I let sit out, and we'll see how that worked. Okay, so I put that in. Now, if I turn that over, I can see that I've got clay all the way around the outside. So I can easily go over here and then just with my fingers pull off. I can feel where the edge is, and I can pull off everything around the edge. And this clay is not gooey and wet, so it's super comfortable to work with. It's not like working with paint if you don't like wet and a mess. I do keep baby wipes nearby because you're going to get a little bit of powdery, chalky kind of, clay stuff on your hand. But it's not a big mess. And that I do like, because I can quickly fill. Sometimes I'll sit down at night, quickly fill up a couple of these so that they can sit and start preparing. And the thing is, you have to kind of think ahead of time. And depends on your climate as to how quickly they're going to dry. The drier the air, the faster they're going to dry. I typically like to try to let them dry longer than I think they will take, just because it's a problem if they're not quite dried, but it's not a problem if they're extra dry. Once I have this, I'm not worried about perfect edges. I just want off all that extra that I know is extra because I can use that. But I'm not worried about perfect edges because when I take it out, I can sand those edges to be, or cut them. Oh, there's a bunch up on top. Cut them to be whatever I need. Now, I can also look and say, am I way above? Do I have, too much over the top? In which case I can, I just left my knife out there. Well, that's brilliant. This might work here. Take a little palette knife and I can just go right across the top and kind of cut to make it level. And not that it needs to be, but that's just a bunch of clay that I can use to fill another one. So there we go. And then when you take it out, and I can still see there's a little bit over here. If I get it off, great. If not, I'll just break it off or sand it off or cut it off when I take it out. No big deal. So that one is full, ready to go. So when you take it out, if it's not flat on the bottom, you go to use it and it's not flat, then you can just sand it flat. If it's a little concave, I don't find that to be a problem because when I go to glue it down, I can just fill that with glue if I need to. Okay. So that little piece that I had pulled out, I still have half of it right here. I'm confident that I could probably fill that whole thing of books again. Let's do the cat over here. I'm confident this will fill the whole cat, just this little bit. If it won't, I'll pull it out, add more to it. But I don't want to keep blending it because I'm drying it out as I go.
Carrie came in.
Hey, Carrie. Good to see you. Okay. Look at that. I've got the cat, and I've still got a chunk left. I'm going to do I can do Lady Vagabond's hat and Kitty Cat's hat. There's plenty here. So there's Lady V's hat right there. Every time I'm still surprised. I'm like, okay, take this chunk off. It's only going to do, not much of anything. And it does 3 or 4 different things with one little chunk. All right, let me get Kitty Cat in here because there's still going to be some excess. Yep, it's not flat. I'm way over the top there. Okay. All right, so as I put that in, I'm not even cutting it with a knife. It's not that much over. It's just a little, so I'm just pulling some off with my finger. There we go. Now I've got, this is way more than I need to do his little cat's hat, but I'm going to do little cat's hat and still pull off some excess there. Now, what I will do once I've got those done is turn it over and look at it to make sure that I got clay all the way down into, all the nooks and crannies and crevices of that mold. And that's why I push it pretty hard down in there, because I want all that detail of the cat's face, the whiskers, all the little things. I want the spines of the books. So I just want to make sure that they're all way down there. Now, this isn't enough to do a full of anything that's left. I could come over here and say, I might be able to get a key out of this. Let's see. I might actually be able to get a key out of this. Wow. There we go. There's just enough left to put in there and get a key. Okay, so that little chunk that I pulled off, and I could probably scrape some more off the backs of these, but I'm not going to, did both the hats, the Vagabond and the cat. It did the cat, and it did the stack of books, and it did a key, that one little chunk. So it really does do quite a bit. Now, if I'm only going to do a few, then I will keep this in the foil. I will fold it like that, and then I put it into a baggie. But I need to keep this visible so that I use it again fairly soon, because this doesn't last forever. And not what I mean by that is what I just said about the longer it sits out, once it's been opened, the more it starts to dry. As soon as it's been opened, it is no longer airtight. Once that seal is broken, it will begin to dry. Now, I've wrapped it tight and closed it off, so it's going to dry rather slowly. If I leave it sit on my desk, it'll dry pretty quickly. So I had I sat down and did a whole bunch of molds probably a year ago. And I went through one container or one package and another one, and I had probably this much left. And I wrapped it and I put it in the baggie and I stuck it in with my molds, and then I forgot about it. So, and then when I remembered about it, I couldn't remember where I put it. So I just found it when I was pulling these things out to do this. And I'm trying to remember which one I did with it. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll tell if it falls apart. It was quite dry. It was quite flaky. So I squeezed it just a few times to try to pull it together. Because again, if it's already flaky dry, and the more I play with it, the more dry it's going to get. So I squeezed it just a few times and then filled some molds to see. Let me move these over so they can just sit here and start to dry. Filled some molds with it, and I think it was some of these with the dry. Maybe not. That's pasta sculptura. I'll look in a minute. Anyway, I wanted to see if it would still work. Even though it wasn't totally flaky, it still stuck together, but I could tell that it was really drying out. So don't leave it sit. Use it within 6-8 months. I would try to, once I open one, I try to use it within, a week or two. I try to, and it's best if I just do it at one time, even to say, well, I'll do these and then I'll do those, or I just order those from Marianne. They'll be here next week. I'll keep this out and I'll fill those as soon as they get here so that you can use it up and know that you're not going to waste it and have it dry out. So the other clay that I have here is the Ranger Quick Cure clay. So I would like to put that in some of these. So I think the butterflies would be a good, butterflies and moths, maybe these leaves might be a good one to put these in. They're fairly thick, so we can see how this clay responds, and we can heat cure it and see if we like it in fairly deep ones. We know if it works in deep ones, it should work just fine in shallow ones. So here's what we have. It looks like a log, kind of like the Stamperia one, but it's down in the foil pouch instead of, tightly wrapped around it. It does appear just visually to be a little bit wetter. So let me get in there and see if I can get a chunk off. This is called Natural Color. The Stamperia one is white. This is, it does have a smell. I don't know for sure what it is. This Natural is more like, I don't know, natural bone, but just a bone color. Just, well, you can see the difference there. So, all right. So let's see what it says. It's a pliable clay formula that cures in minutes with just the use of a heat tool. There's no need for a kiln or oven. Colorized clay with paints and mediums, such as the Tim Holtz alcohol inks, Ranger embossing powders, archival inks, vintage patinas, perfect pearls, and more. The finished product is very strong and durable, great for making sculptures, jewelry, and other mixed media projects to use. Working in a well-ventilated area, mold or sculpt clay into desired shape. Place onto Ranger non-stick craft sheet or other heat-resistant surface. Use a heat tool to start the curing process. Start by slowly waving the heat tool around the entire piece from different sides. Hold the heat tool 6 inches away from the object you're curing. Depending on the size of your piece, it takes 1 to 2 minutes to start the process. The reaction has started when you see a small whiff of smoke from the clay. Okay, I would think I was burning it. So that's good to know. Turn off the heat tool and the heat will propagate throughout the rest of the piece. Repeat as needed if areas are left uncured. Once the smoke has fully dissipated, your piece is now cured. Allow to cool before handling. Clay will be very hot. Once it is cool, you can use virtually any medium to decorate and colorize it. Okay, so that makes me wonder about using it in the molds. Because it says mold it into a shape and then you're going to heat it. It's going to get very hot.
It might melt the mold.
That's what I'm wondering. Does it get hot enough to melt the molds? I don't know. So I'm going to try something. I'm going to try putting it in the mold. It's much stiffer. So that you can form something. So what I'm wondering is if I can put it in the mold and get the form and then pull it out and then heat cure it. If it will, you know what I mean? If it will stay, if I'll be able to get like all the detail on the leaf. I'm going to try it. Yeah, this is definitely not as easy to use because it's a lot stiffer. Definitely intended to like shape jewelry or little statues or things like that, bowls, plates. And
I think in the corner of the mold.
It is wet.
There's no.
It is kind of nice to not have to have a kiln for it if you wanted to make some earrings or something. I'm also thinking that you could probably roll it out flat and then press the other side of a mold into it to get the impression. Okay, so there's the leaf that I'm doing. Let's see if that will come out. So if I rolled it out flat and then you put the mold over it, especially the smaller ones, the texture impressions, okay, this might not. Or maybe if I start, yeah. All right, I'm going to risk ruining my mold.
Just heat the corner a little bit. See if it melts it on the corner.
I'm going to use the Ranger tool because it's quiet and it's not as hot as some of the others. It wouldn't come out easily. So I wonder even if I put some of that release, said hold it 6 inches. All right. I'm also wondering if this is hot enough. I do have my mega heat tool, which isn't. Said 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. So we're going to try that. If nothing else, you won't have to waste money trying one clay if it doesn't do what you want it to do. See what Penny says. What does Penny says? You have to remove it from the mold. Well, that's what I was trying to do, Penny. And it won't remove easily. So I'm wondering if I start to heat it and it starts to cure, if it'll pull away from the mold a little bit, or if it'll become a little harder. Linda, dust the mold with cornstarch. That might be a good idea too. I haven't seen any. It's starting to warm up. Yeah, it's getting hot, but I haven't seen any. It's quite sticky. Not like the Stamperia one. I'm definitely going to have to wipe my hands with baby wipes before going back to that one. I haven't seen any steam, smoke, or anything like that come from it yet. Give these guys a shot. Okay, the whole mold is getting really soft. I don't know that it's actually going to melt, but it is getting really soft with that heat on it. But I wonder about hitting the other side here to help it release a bit. I don't know. I'm becoming concerned about the heat on the mold. So it might, having cornstarch in there might be enough to take care of that. I still haven't seen any smoke, but I don't dare leave it on the mold. Either that or I'm going to destroy the mold. Don't know that it's worth doing that.
Use the edge of your palette knife. See if you can get it just around the edge.
Around, and then I can get a palette knife in there. It's a good idea. Okay. That one's kind of sharp. It might actually cut with a small plastic one that I left out in the kitchen because I just washed them all. Wait, maybe I could use this. It's kind of thick, but yeah, it's definitely stickier and it's different texture. It's much thicker, harder to mold. But again, if you were making beads or, jewelry, pendants, earrings, things like that, this would be good stuff. And the fact that you can cure it with the heat tool, I think, is awesome. Let's see what it's doing down there. Yeah, I don't see it coming up without. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, that's really thick, and it's a little distorted now. But now I can pull some of the rest of it out. I could cut off.
That's me, Margie. I stay up from paint.
Shaking her bottles. Yeah, this is not for molds. I'm going to say that right now. Don't get this stuff if you want it for molds. This is kind of a pain in the butt. And the Stamperia clay was really easy and quick, as you saw. So now let's try this, though, just because we started it. I'm looking for smoke.
Smoke on the water.
Na-na-na-na-na-na. I remember when I was 12 years old and I bought an entire songbook of music, piano music, for that song, just for that song. That's the only one I wanted. The only way to get it was in that book. So, like, I don't care. I don't care what it costs. I want that song. Bum, 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 bum.
It's
Okay.
like the definitive song that everybody learns first on guitar. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My first song on the guitar was He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. Of course, it wasn't a rock teacher either. But yeah, classical guitar. But I could totally see on bass.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody see smoke? Maybe you'll see it before I see it. I'm going to get a little closer. I'm wondering if this tool is hot enough. Or we just pull up the Mega Man tool. Let's do that. It'll be a lot faster.
Mega Man.
Mega Man tool. When you want a heat gun that really heats, you go to Home Depot. Of course, we got to plug it in.
Yeah,
But
so I
yeah,
can burn
this-
the house down. So I can burn the house down.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This one you have to be careful with. It's pretty darn hot, and you want, be careful with a lot of your craft things. I'm going to move this so I don't actually end up curing that in the package. This one we should probably see smoke.
And don't try to defrost your ice maker with that either. It will melt your ice maker.
It won't work on the ice maker?
No.
It'll melt it?
Yep.
That's hilarious. I'm trying to correct the shape a bit here and there. Easier to do while it's still soft than...
Oh, that's interesting, Penny. She's seen others lay this clay out a bit to dry before working on it or
before
working with
using
it.
it.
Yep.
And then did they use it in molds?
Penny, have you seen anybody use them in molds?
Are they using it in molds, Penny? Yeah, or are they using it otherwise? Smoke gets in your eyes, yeah.
Well, we hope not.
Out. All right, it's getting hard. Woo! It is definitely hard. I still don't see any smoke, do you?
No, I don't.
Ouch! Dang, it's hot!
Hey, Sylvia.
Hey, Sylvia! Look at that bubble. Woo! That bubble is, ow, that's hot. All I did was touch the bubble and like seconds.
Penny said they didn't like it.
Say that what again?
Penny says that they didn't like it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm sure this is for people that are
that is hot.
making things, that are molding,
Yeah.
like dragons or whatever.
I would not use this in the molds. That bubbled up. It was flat. You saw it a minute ago. It was flat. But that is cool though. How quickly that did
Right.
cure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I almost don't dare touch it yet. That was
So,
really.
aren't there silicone molds though, too? Don't they make those
Uh-huh.
for these kind of things? So silicone would work with that, though.
Yeah.
They're hard to pop out too, though.
Yeah.
So there's our.
But they'd be heat resistant.
Right.
Yeah. So we do have. We actually do have with Stamperia some silicone molds. So if you want to take clay and make jewelry or make beads, then this is the clay to do it with. This is great for that. You can form it into whatever. You could actually form it into a butterfly kind of shape just by looking at that, and then take a tool and draw all the things on top of it, like the veins of the leaf that we have here. And then, heat cure it in just a couple minutes. It actually worked. But as far as putting it in your molds, I'm going to say no. I wouldn't do the Ranger Quick Cure clay in your molds. So let me close. I don't want to put this back in there because it was already a part of this. and did receive a little bit of heat. So I'll have to think of something to do with that guy. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Sorry, Ranger buddy, but that's out of the picture right now. And now I definitely need baby wipes. That it's definitely a different consistency. It's much stickier. Yeah, it's definitely a jewelry maker's or pottery maker's clay, that type of thing. Don't touch things that are hot. I know. Press it with a real leaf on top. That's a great idea, J-Mac. Yeah. Polymer clay. Yeah, I think would be easier for jewelry, Linda. I do agree. So I'll find something to do with it, though. I'll make something cool. I just not going to think about that right now, but I'm going to clean this off. Still warm. My glass mat underneath it is still warm. Okay. All right, so let's go back to this. So you saw how quickly and easy these molds went in, and now I just need to let them sit, and then they'll dry. They'll just cure, air dry, and cure on their own. I'll usually do fill a tray and fill. Hey, Glennis, what'd you say?
She said they'd be great for skulls.
Oh yeah, hard as rock, little tiny skulls. I don't know. Maybe I can make you a skull out of that one. And I'll just stack them on top of each other, even stacking them this way so they don't kind of fall into the holes. I'll just stack them up and let them sit somewhere and sit for a few days or a week or whenever I get around to taking them out. They can sit there longer than needed. So let me show you what I did with. No, before we go to that, let's look at these texture impressions. So there's two molds here. There's a large one and a small one. The large one is A4 size. And with Stamperia, these ones are called maxi molds. And these smaller ones are called texture impressions. So you'll probably hear us say, is it a texture or is it a maxi? Because then we know exactly which size and we know exactly what we can do with it. The maxi molds are all A4 size, and you can see there's even some clay left behind there. I'm not liking that at all. Now, I got to find a way to clean all that out before I put the other stuff in. The maxi molds are deeper. They're going to give you a deeper 3D item. These are not backgrounds. These are things like the leaves and the butterflies and the cats and the hats and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'll have to clean that out later. Okay. The texture impressions, there can be things like this one is full of things. It has clock faces and keys, but they are also backgrounds. And notice, even though they're things, they're a lot thinner. Look how thin that is, a lot shallower. So they can be backgrounds like writing. And let me grab this one. Hang on a second. The one that missed its. It's there. No, okay. This one is the Japanese brick wall, and this one is the submarine wall with all the metal pieces, metal rivets. Okay, they're much thinner, and they're full backgrounds, and that gives you more options of what you can do with them. You can use the clay in them, but honestly, when it comes to a clay or a background like that, I wouldn't put the clay in it. I'll put the clay in these that have items. They're a little bit thicker even than the backgrounds. Let's grab here's the submarine wall. Got some stuff on the edges from last time I used it. The best way to use these is not the clay. They're super thin, and they're going to give you a background piece. Like this. See how thin that is? And there's that submarine wall right there. Let's see, which came out just like that. So it matches up like that. If you looked at it that way. Against the black. Yeah, so there's the submarine wall. And then you can do whatever you want on it. I did this a long time ago, and don't really feel like I finished it. I want to come back and do something on the metal rivets so that they stand out a little bit more. But this is all alcohol ink. I wanted the rusty patina metal, and now I want to do something to make those metal rivets stand out a little bit more. And then there's the Japanese wall. Same thing. I kind of wanted that old rusty patina wall, but now I want to do something that makes the characters stand out a little bit more. Here is one of the mask backgrounds, and I really love that one. This is the Stardust pigments, these little teeny tiny Stardust pigments. That's them on top of this one, and I just cut out a section to use on something. Actually, that went on the cover of the retreat book. And then here's another one that's just background of clocks and steampunk like gears and work. So again, I did the rust and patina, but now I'd like to come back and make got some good rusty hands here, but make maybe the numbers stand out just a little bit more with some rust. So the longer you leave it sit, the more natural looking it becomes with that. So, but see how this is flexible? This is the most recent one I made. So look how flexible this is, this background. So I could wrap that on a spine of a book. I can cut out that piece where I couldn't do that with the clay when it's hard. You can mold it to go any way you want, something or over something. Now, the longer you let it sit, the more stiff it becomes. This is the same one, still flexible, but not quite as. This one is even older, and as it's dried even more and more, it's got these awesome cracks in it. Maybe you can see there are little cracks that look really real, like a wall, bricks on the wall would crack. So I love that. So let me show you what you do with those. Instead of clay on these, we want to use something that will dry adhering together to itself, but will also remain flexible and will spread over this whole thing. So the best product for that is the cream paste. So we can just take the regular cream paste, and let's see. I will use this one here. And I just, I try to go around the edge to get stuff before it dries up, and just take a chunk and start spreading it. And I'm scraping it across because right now I want to make sure that I get it down into all the little holes, because I'm going to have to come back and put more over the top of it, but I want to make sure that it gets down into those little holes. Otherwise, when I do pull it out, those holes will be flat and empty. So by doing this, I can see, as I'm going over that, let's see here. I can see when these little holes are full because I'm just scraping it across the top. So it's super easy to do. It doesn't use a lot of cream paste, despite what it might look like. Because this is so thin, it doesn't take much at all to fill it. So it didn't even take that whole chunk of what I pulled out to fill all the holes. Okay, so now all the holes are filled, right? Now I have to think about, when I go to take it out, if I were to let this dry and take it out, I've got all the holes filled, but what's holding it all together? It needs a background to hold it all together. So now I need to go back and I need to put enough over the top, enough paste over the top that it creates a background for it that can hold it all together. And that can be as thick as you want. The thicker it is, the longer you want to let it sit and dry. This does take longer to dry than the clay. And the older the clay is, the faster it'll dry because it's already starting to dry out once it's been opened. Okay, and you don't need to worry about this being all nice and perfect on here because this is the back, remember? And the other thing that you want to keep in mind is that as this dries, it is going to shrink. So what that means is that if I go over this and then I put a super thin layer, I'm going to show you one in just a second. If I fill in all the holes, all the grooves, and then I go over it and I put a super thin layer of what I'm doing right now, and then it dries and it shrinks and pulls into itself, into the holes, there's not going to be a whole lot there. So you need a good, you don't need a quarter of an inch for sure, but you need a decent thickness here that, that's so thin that you can't even really see there, but it's still a decent thickness. You need a decent thickness so that it would be able to pull out. So let me set that one aside. So here is, that cream paste, that's the white. And white is what I use the most of because I can color it any color I want. But the cream paste also comes in gold, silver, and blue. I don't have any gold in stock right now, but I do have the silver and blue. And I love the blue. It's such a pretty color. So I did this, and I actually only did this the night before last. I don't know if it's going to be dry yet. But the thought I had was this is that damask wallpaper. And so put it in there, and I put a fairly thin layer over the top. When I put it over, I couldn't see any of the design. It was completely covered, but it wasn't super thick. And so you can see as it dries, look how it dries. As it dries, it shrinks, and it's pulling it right down into it. So you can see that if it isn't thick enough, you're not going to have anything to peel off. So I'm going to try peeling this off with you so that you can see how to peel it off. I don't honestly know if it's dry enough yet. Might luck out, and it might be just because it is so thin. And I actually have concern that it might be too thin. But let's peel it and see. I'm going to go around the edge and get these up first, at least just one end where I'm going to start. I started one in here so it wouldn't take too long. Just get these going, get them started. Okay. Now, what I don't want to do is just take this and rip it back, peel it back off of it, because parts and pieces of it could stick. And if it's not 100% dry, I'm just going to leave it be and let it sit for another day. But when I go to peel it, because it is down in those grooves, and those are little teeny tiny grooves, I'm actually going to think of peeling the mold off of the paste instead of peeling the paste off of the mold. Now, these molds are flexible. They're not silicone, but they're plastic, and they are flexible, and they are not going to be destroyed if you bend them. So I'm going to take the mold, and I'm really thinking about, I'm trying to keep the paste as flat as possible and even put it down here. And I'm thinking that I'm pulling the mold, peeling the mold off of the paste, not the paste off of the mold.
Beverly has come in. She's asked if the cream paste is for the molds.
Hi, Beverly.
Works great in the texture molds, but Beverly.
Yeah, there is a way to use the cream paste in the larger molds, but not completely. I will show you that next. But they are much thicker. These are much thinner, and that's why it's they tell us to use this in the molds because you can get these great backgrounds. I have a little blue left right there. If it's completely dry, I won't have anything left. It will peel perfectly clean. So this is one thing that I have taught myself not to be impatient about. And that's why I usually just fill up a bunch, walk away, and let them sit for a week. So I know they're completely dry. I'm still going to try it. But I can tell that it would love to sit for another day or two. I come down to this end and see. And I don't know, it may be more damp in the middle than it is on the ends. But if I get to the middle and it's really sticking, I'll show you one what it looks like when it's not dry enough if you pull it out, and so you'll know. Yeah, I hope this comes off just so you can see how cool it looks, but it may or may not. Let's see. So if you know that you want, like this one, I thought it'd be really cool to have the blue as the background, and then I could do gold or silver on the damask, or black, or, any number of things. Then you can use the colored one. Now you can take the white cream paste and add color to it. If you're just going to get one cream paste to start, I would get the white, because you can add to the white. You can use anything. You can use alcohol ink. You can use, if you have, I know a lot of you have a lot of powder pigments that we have. You've got mica powder, any other powdered pigments you can just mix in with it. Any powders mix in really nicely with it, actually better than the liquids, because liquid can change the viscosity of it, and the powder really doesn't. See, there's a slight tear right there because there was hardly, you can tell right there. Yeah, there was not hardly any paste right there. So this is super thin, and the thinner it is, the more difficult it is to get out. It will be easier if I let it sit for another couple of days, but this would be a whole lot easier if it was a little bit thicker, like the one I just put in that you saw me go across the back with the thickness. Okay, but look how cool it looks when this all comes out in that blue or gold or silver. It's just really, really pretty. So any of these texture impressions, they're just really thin, you can use the paste in. You can use molding paste. You could use pasta sculptura. You could use heavy body paste. Cream paste is the cream. I wouldn't use gesso, because gesso is not a paste. It's a coating. But any of these pastes, a cream paste is probably the fluffiest, thinnest of all of them. So they'll all work, and you just need to work quickly, do it all at one time. This may still come out, and just make sure that you have a thick enough coating on the back that when it shrinks up as it dries, it will be able to have a back to it. I think we may get it. It doesn't take me.
She's already got her wardrobe, her widow's wardrobe all set. And he said, might want to check on survivor's benefits first. And then it said, this plan has been in place as I had to wait for the wood chipper to come on sale.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Okay, look, it actually worked. This is super thin. Look how thin this is. This just will fold.
Right up. If it's completely cured, is it hard to peel out? No, it's not.
This is the more cured this is, the easier it is to pull
out. Yeah.
The reason I went so slowly is because it's only been sitting there for a day and a half or two. I can't remember exactly when I put it in, and I was worried that it wasn't cured enough. So there's the front, and it is metallic. The gold and the silver and the blue are metallic, which is kind of cool too. And you could also use the back.
That's true.
I would like to call dibs on that sheet you're pulling on for my blue journal, but I haven't started yet. Make your own, Sylvia.
That blue journal. Oh, yeah. I got some white on it, which I can either color or take off. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that came out really nice and cleanly. There was that one little spot. That's why I thought it might not come out, because that one little spot there. If it is dry, If it is dry, it is cured. And if it's cured, it will come out cleanly. And you don't have to go back and clean these at all. So what if it's not dry and you try to pull it out? Let's see, I think I still have that one. Yeah, let me show you this one. If it's not dry and you try to pull it out too soon and it's still sticky, what are you going to get? Lots of little pieces still stuck in there. And now I have to clean the darn mold. And I hate cleaning the mold. And it's all because I didn't let it sit long enough. I didn't let it cure long enough. And so now I've got all these pieces in there. If I leave them in there, the next time I put stuff in there, then that spot won't be filled with the paste I put in next time. And when it comes out, that'll just be a piece stuck to it, which will come off. And so I have to clean it before I do the next one. You should never have to clean your molds. This is an example of what happens when you pull it out too soon. So if you go to the edge and you start to peel it up and you see that it's sticking to it, just push it back down and leave it. Just leave it another day or two. That's all. It's super easy. It's really, really super easy to use. And the only way you can mess it up is by not letting it sit long enough. So if you can just be patient and let it sit long enough, then it comes out really great. So
Sylvia says, make my own, blah, blah, blah. What happened to that retreat generosity? Well, you didn't come to retreat, so you don't get that. Margie said, toothbrush for cleaning the mold, preferably pHs.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to do that. So
you did sell some of that mold release. Remember that?
Yeah, but you should.
And I brought my deeper molds. I do brush a little bit of that in there first before I put the clay in there, and it makes it come out.
If you let it dry long enough, you should never have to clean it. Whether you.
But I'm just saying.
But
the deeper ones, it makes them come out easier.
Okay.
I had trouble with mine breaking because they get too dry sometimes or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially the ones that have a lot of detail. The little pieces on them. You know, like the antenna or.
Yeah. Okay, so this one has butterflies, moss, leaves, whatever. And this one I told you to use clay in, not the cream paste because it's too
cream paste, Sandy, and those
thick. This is a texture mold, so you could use cream paste, and then when you peel it out, it's going to be flexible, or it's thick enough that you can actually use clay in it. So that one should be dried because they're thin. There's still some sticking to that. Okay, let me show you how you do this and why it's taking longer to dry. So I wanted a butterfly. I want a butterfly that was this metallic blue. But I know that I can't just fill this up with cream paste. It might dry in a year. I don't know. But that's a ½ inch thick. I can't just fill that up and
can't wait that long.
Wait a year for my metallic butterfly. See, that's no, it's still okay. So what I did, I know Candy's done this too. Where? It doesn't matter. I'll just use any one of them. I'll use this one. Don't need a ruler right now. Thank you very much. All right. So what I did was take some of this cream paste in the metallic blue, and I first coated my butterfly. Okay. And it's thick like cream paste. So I'm just going to put that.
I just use a palette knife and put mine in there.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you could do too, but I left my palette because I used them. I left my palette knives out in the kitchen sink. So that's why I grabbed a brush. But it'll pretty much go in with anything. But so I put this in first. Now this is a fairly thin layer, so it'll dry because I don't want to fill this whole thing up with cream paste, but I do want that metallic surface on my butterfly. Now this one, I used the palette knife and it ended up with way more than this on the cream paste. And actually, that's the first time I've used a brush. I always use the palette knife. I really like the brush better. That spread a lot easier. a lot more controlled, and I used a lot less. So just going to say that for me, that brush just worked better than the palette knife has in the past.
Sandy asked if you could use lunar paste mixed with the modeling paste. Maybe.
Yeah, I think
it would dilute it though.
But lunar paste is pretty thick. So yes, I think you'd be okay. What I would be careful of is using too much. You get too much of whatever you're adding to it. Whatever you're adding to it is not intended to set up and be hard. It's not clay. Lunar paste isn't clay, although it dries quickly, so that's a plus for that. But if you do,
I think we're better off putting it over it once it's dry.
But I think, I don't think I would do this with lunar paste, because I don't know that the lunar paste would attach to it and would, give you quite the same result. I'm trying to gauge about how much I will need without getting too much, because I can't pull it out and redo it after the fact. Well, I guess I can pull off.
That blue that she's using is the blue metallic cream paste, ladies.
It's the blue metallic cream paste. It also comes in a silver metallic and a gold metallic. All right, so because you can see on the back of this, it's all blue. When I put this one in, I did it with a palette knife. There was quite a bit more cream paste in there than there is in this one. And then I put the clay in, and I'm squishing it around, and it's squishing the blue cream paste up over the edge. So I just ended up rubbing it all over, smoothing it in, letting it mix in. But the back should be pretty much white because the back is all clay. That's why. Now, it's going to take longer to dry because although the clay might dry in a couple of days, it's awfully thick, so it's going to need another day. And then I've got the cream paste on it, which takes longer than the clay. The cream paste takes longer than the clay, and that cream paste can't get air to it to dry. Where this one was so thin, this dried in a day and a half, but this one has to wait for the clay to dry and then get all the way down to the cream paste. So it's going to take longer for that one to dry. All right, so I'm going to form this down in there. You can see how it's pushing blue up there. I'm trying not to push hard because that's what it's doing, is squishing the blue up already, and I don't want that. So, but, there's going to be some of it. And so as I'm trying to only have to push down once. As I do, I'm trying to scrape off the excess, and it's picking up some of that blue that's coming off, which is how I got this butterfly up here. I took all this excess like that. So I just used the excess then. Now I got to make sure that is full. There we go. That's full. And I'm not going to worry about this being really flat. I can sand it later because I really don't want to mess with that blue a lot. I just want that in there. Good. Okay. So then I can take what is left here, and now my hands get messier because it's got the blue paste, which is, just like putting that liquid paste on your hand. But I can take this and, that would make a cool feather. I think that little tiny bit's enough to make this feather. Let's see if it is. If not, I can pull a little bit more off of that butterfly because there's plenty on there. I can fill in just a little bit with that. Okay. Make sure there's plenty down in the quill. Okay.
The volume paste.
So now I'm going to have a cool blue and white feather there. And then this is a blue and white butterfly here. And so this is the one we just did. And then this is the one I did the other day that I can see. Let's see. It still feels flexible to me. If I'm pushing down on this, it still moves. This is hard over here, but this over here still flexes. That tells me it's not cured yet, because once it's cured, it's hard. It doesn't flex like that. So I don't even want to try to take that out because I know it'll break away from it, but it won't come out whole because it's not all. This part is cured right here. The parts that have the blue are definitely not going to be. These will cure faster. They'll harden faster because they only have a little bit of blue and they have a lot more white. Okay. So I'm going to let those. So when I take those out, I will do a quick video or pictures or something and post it so that you can see those. You can see those come out. It's got a little extra around here. Which may not stick, but we'll try. Okay. So I was hoping that this one being thin might come out. Yeah, see, there's a perfect example. Took it out too soon. Most of it came out okay. This part stuck because it's not cured yet. It wasn't completely dry. So if I stick that back in, it's not going to work. It's not going to stick to it because it's already been separated and it's dry enough that it's not going to stick. So now I have to clean that one. So the lesson I've learned is better to let it sit too long than not long enough. Because if it doesn't sit long enough, I have to clean. And I don't like to clean. If it sits too long, I don't have to clean. It's going to pull out cleanly. Okay, so, and this one we just put in today. So we're going to let that one sit. So let's set these aside as well. Let's clean this just a bit. If you're on a glass or a silicone, or this is one of those baking mats, that clay just comes right off. And even if it's like that, it just comes right off. It doesn't, it's not hard to clean. That I love. I'm kind of glad I saved that Ranger clay to try with you guys so that you could see it. And I'm not a huge fan. Well, I'm not a fan of that for molds, let's say that. But I think it would be amazing clay for forming things because of the quick cure with the heat. All right, I'm going to put this back in here for a minute. So you could use the cream paste. You could use modeling paste. If you've got any of these that you've already purchased, you could use the heavy body paste. You can use the cream paste in blue. You could use the cream paste in silver. The cream paste in gold. Now, you don't have to line your mold with the color and then put that on. Like this one, the clay just got a little bit of the blue on it, so I just mixed it with it, just a little bit. I wanted to see the striations through, and so it's blue and white. You don't have to completely.
Victoria has come in.
Hi, Victoria. Good to see you. No tomato paste. Don't use tomato paste. It will not harden. Oh, so you could take if you wanted to use cream paste, you could take out some cream paste, put it in a little dish, and then you could take a couple of drops of alcohol ink and literally just try like 2 drops, mix it up with your palette knife. And then if you want it a little darker, go 1 drop at a time. What you don't want is to add too much and make it too liquid. I'm just rubbing this paste off as it dries. It washes off super fast, but I don't want to leave and go wash it off. So I'm just rubbing it because as it dries, it comes off real easily. But yeah, you could, to add color. Mica powder. A lot of you have mica powders. We had a whole bunch of those about a year ago. You can take your cream paste, and I would take out what you're going to use or what you think you might use and put it on a little plate or in a little dish, and then sprinkle some mica powder on it a little bit, mix it up, and see if that's the color you want. If you need to add a little bit more mica powder. The other thing you can do is just kind of gently mix it so it doesn't change color completely like this. No matter what color you're adding to it, you can let it be a marbled color. It does not always have to be mixed thoroughly. You just don't want to have a whole bunch of color sitting in one place. I didn't bring in water. No, I did not. You don't want to have a whole bunch of color that is a color that will not harden sitting in one place. Like I'm not worried about the cream paste because cream paste will harden. It's still flexible, but it will harden. So that's all right. But if I put in like alcohol ink, I don't want to put in alcohol ink and have a whole, little bunch of it sitting there where it's not going to harden and just kind of sit there as liquid. Okay, does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about putting the paste and the clay in the mold so far? Anything that we've done so far to this point? Great.
And I think it'd be easier to put the cream paste on after it come out. I agree, Penny.
And after it comes out, I don't use cream paste on it to color it. So
yeah, but you can post it.
Yeah, you can. And then you need to let it sit and dry again. But
So
after
I have mine on the floor in front of the fridge. The warm air should aid in drying. No sunshine today in this great Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, that works. And mine sits in my room. I just set them out on top of things. And I don't have the blinds open, so there's no sunshine outside. But when I'm in here, the fan is on in the room. When I'm not, the air's pretty dry. We're in a pretty humid environment. So, yeah. The more humid it is, the longer it's going to take. But sitting in front of the refrigerator, that's a great idea, as long as you don't step on it.
Or get nose prints from your dog.
Yeah, I can't do that. My cat be walking in it.
Yeah, that's no way that I could do it.
Will your cute little dog get over there and get her nose in it? Okay, so let me show you when after they come out some things here. I have a couple things in mind too that I've been wanting to try that I thought maybe I would just wait and try with you. Okay, so those are, here's another palette. So here is Lady Vagabond's goggles. And here are Kitty Vagabond's goggles. They're very cute. This is just white with, when it came out, covered with black gesso. So anything that comes out white, here's another one that I pulled out too soon. You can see right there, the numbers are unclear. So I'll have to put something right there. But that's the old telephone. If you let it sit long enough, it doesn't matter how detailed it is. It will come out just fine. This Way for Adventure came out just fine. As long as you let it sit there long enough so that it can dry. All the detail will come out, even with the paste. Here is those little tags. Oh, maybe you can't see because it's black. I don't know. I'm waiting for my YouTube to catch up here.
Really?
Okay, hang on. Let me bring this light and see if this makes a difference there. Okay, can you see that? There's the light. There we go. Okay, so you can see all the detail on that. So this is white cream paste. And after I pulled it out, then I'll let it sit out for a bit just to make sure that the inside, the part that's been down, is now exposed to the air for a while. And then I just coated it with black gesso. I didn't know what I wanted to do exactly yet, but I knew that I wanted it to be a black base. So, and you can still see all the detail in that. So if you let them sit there long enough, the detail does show. It doesn't matter how detailed it is. The only problem you'll have is when you pull it out too soon. Look at all the detail behind that one. Not done with that one. Don't like the center quite yet, but knowledge, even those little tiny words come out just fine. All the detail on these hearts, that's a wood grain. And these I grabbed when I wanted to try those new Stardust pastes to see what they would do, what they would look like. Didn't know anything about them yet. So need to continue to work on those. A little goldfish. That's a Stardust paste. I just wanted to see what it would look like. So here's one that has not been gessoed yet. You can see the detail on that one. It's very thin. It's paste, not clay. And still you've got all that detail just by letting it sit in there long enough. That's the whole key, is waiting long enough, being patient. Little gears, little teeny tiny gears, even smaller than this, will come out just fine. I've got another thing of little teeny tiny flowers somewhere, but other one of the little fishies. But okay, so I coated these. There's a tiny gear. Even all the little points around it come out just fine. Just let it sit long enough. So I've coated those with black gesso, like this one. Haven't decided exactly what to do on him. He's the octopus from SeaWorld. But he would be really cool, steampunked out and on the front cover of
Seahorse?
something. Yeah.
You said octopus.
Oh my gosh.
Sylvia said so. Gesso first and then acrylics. Either or.
Yeah.
Either or, but I wanted it to be a black base instead of a white base. That's why I gessoed it. If I'm going to put something on it that I think is going to absorb into that dry clay really fast, like if I want to do alcohol inks on top of it after I bring it out, I will typically put a coat of gesso on it. It might be clear gesso if I want the white base, or it'll be black gesso, because then the alcohol ink will do what I want it to. Otherwise, the alcohol ink absorbs and I'm going to end up using too much alcohol ink. So here's the little palette from Atelier. Paintbrush somewhere. No, I think I might have given that paintbrush to somebody. Not sure. Here's Sir Vagabond. And I ran out of blue Stardust before I could finish his collar. It's Jack. But there you can see the detail on his face. Even his mustache, his lips, everything is very detailed. So this one's clay. And just gesso, black gesso. So any of them. I was thinking that I thought I had a couple butterflies already out here, and maybe I already used them because I wanted to try, and I thought I would wait and just do it with you guys. Maybe I can do it over these. So once they're out, it's just a substrate that you can do anything on. Anything that you would do with anything else. If you'd pick up if you'd go buy like chipboard die cuts. Basically, you're making your own die cuts, but they're out of clay instead of chipboard, and much cooler forms, and they're 3D. So you can really do anything you want with those. Now I put everything away. Where did I put? I did. Okay, so I don't even have my black gesso right here, do I? That's clear. That's clear. I put everything away so I would have extra room. I didn't think about wanting.
I just use black acrylic paint.
Yeah, well, so I was thinking that this is black acrylic paint sitting here. So instead of gesso, these were already black gessoed, and then I did those things on top of them. But I want to try something else, and I don't want that color to come through. So I'm going to just take some of this black acrylic paint, and well, it can be on here. It doesn't matter because it'll wash with silicone. And I'm just going to put
Or you said chipboard is not as messy.
That's true. I'm going to put some black acrylic paint on this. I don't need a lot. I just want to cover it because I don't want gold to show through what I want to try. And so I'm trying to do it one-handed so I don't get a handful of black paint. Okay. And hopefully that dries quickly. And then do some on this one as well. Okay. And then want to show you, DM actually took some old kindergarten style paper mache that we've all done. So maybe you don't have any clay and you want something quickly, but you know, what do you do? How do you do it? So she put together some paper mache, which is paper and water, and then squeezed out and glue added to form a clay-like substance. And I don't know how that's going to work with the ridges. I really need something smooth.
What if you wiped off and sort of had that shine come through the bottom? And
that might look cooler on those than what I'm thinking because they do have the ridges.
Exactly.
Because what I was going to do is going to cover it, but But so DM, let me bring you up
Yes.
here and show what you've got with the paper mache.
Okay. So the only mold I have is this one right here, which is actually one of those really thin molds that she
The
just
texture
did
impression.
the paste. Yes, it's just the
Mhm.
impression. I was not sure how long this was going to dry, but this morning I stuck it in because I was making this at about 2:00 in the morning. Um,
I
so
can
I,
that.
yep. So I did push some of the paper mache that I made. I pushed it out, and you can actually see that there's still a little bit of water in it. It does puff up. Now, I tried this little one right here that says that's small, and it doesn't go all the way down into the words. So if it's tiny words, not going to work.
Right.
But some of the bigger things, like the corner that I'm putting in right now, and you can actually see water coming down as I squish it.
Mhm.
Maybe. Yep, right there on the edge, some came out. I just push down as much as I can to get it all the way in. And how I made this is I took a roll of toilet paper. I boiled water. And I, sometimes smell of things don't, bothers me. So I actually wanted it to be tan. So the other thing I did is I put some old tea bags in it. I had some old chai tea bags that needed to be used. They were out of date. And so I added
Sounds like
that.
chai tea. I love it.
Chai tea, yep. So I added that to the water when I was boiling the water. So what you need is you need your toilet paper roll. You put that in a big, huge bowl. You try to get the center out if you can't. If not, you can do it at the next step. From there, you have a kettle boiling, and you boil it till it's rolling. I started my kettle with cold with salt in it so that it tasted like the sea, because clay needs to have an additive to it, homemade clay, that will make it so it won't rot or it won't get moldy. So I just made the water that I was using salty rather than adding salt during the process of mixing it, because sometimes I've done that and it gets gritty, and I didn't want it to get gritty. So I am at that point, I take it and I throw that big boiling pot of water, tea, whatever you've added to it, and the salt over the toilet paper, and it just starts to disintegrate. That's when you pull the brown inner lining out of the roll, out of the toilet paper, and you let it sit until the water is cool, or room temperature is what it is. At that point, I have what I call I should have brought it upstairs. It's a meat smasher. It's shaped like an X. Well, it's not even a tenderizer. It's shaped like an X. So if you have hamburger and you throw the whole square in, and you get it started, you can slice it up into smaller pieces.
Okay.
Instead of using your spoon.
Right.
So I used that, and the toilet paper just totally emascerated. While that was cooling, I went to my kitchen. Well, I was in the kitchen. I pulled out and made my own homemade school glue from when I was in kindergarten. So that is, you put cold water and salt, once again, to hold the to make it so it won't mold. And you have 2 cups of water to 1 cup of flour. However, I didn't have enough flour, and I needed to leave my husband a little bit for his breakfast. So I put flour and cornstarch, thank you, in it. And what you do is you bring that to a boil. It starts to get thick. When it's about the consistency, once it's boiling hard, you take it off, turn the burner off, and just keep stirring it until it cools down, and it will be as thick as mayonnaise. And then you just put it in a container and put it in your refrigerator. It stays for a long time. But then what I did is that when it was time for me to go back to the paper, what I did is I drained the paper with a colander. I made sure it was all nice and macerated up. And it was tan. Now, if you wanted white, you just didn't have to put that tea in. It was me trying something out that I wanted to see if it was going to work. And then you just start adding the paste that you made. And when you get to the consistency that this is, which is, it's not Play-Doh consistency. It's still got a little bit of give to it. Like you can actually see the little hairs of the paper coming out. And it did take me a while to get to the consistency. You could have rolled it out and used like you were making pie crust, but I just did it inside the bowl and just kept adding and adding paste until it was this consistency. This is how much, plus whatever I've taken out here, and then these right here that I made earlier this morning.
How much one roll of toilet paper made?
That's how much one roll of toilet paper made.
Okay.
This should last probably, well, I don't know. I mean, I've had one of these before. It does start to dry out, but if you keep it in the refrigerator in an airtight container, it will last for a long, long time. So this morning, because I was up late last night, I made it. I put it in the refrigerator, and this morning I had to go to a dentist. So before I went to the dentist appointment, I took out a little snippet like this, maybe a little bit more, and just did the word creativity. I did want to see how tight I could get into the tiny letters, and that's the one that says, make your life a, I don't know, something work of art. I put it on the art one, and I also did the paintbrush. I was afraid it was not going to dry in time. So it was about 10:30 when I put it outside, and I put it on my husband's black tailgate of his truck.
Good idea.
And before I even left for the dentist, which was at 11:30, I was able to turn it over, and they fell out because they were dry enough but not white.
Nice.
Now, one thing is when I put this down and I got to the point that this was, I was going to only do this part right here. The one thing I did do, and I'm going to use this towel, is I pressed it down again with the towel so that it sucks up some of the water that's in there, and it also pushes it back down and further into the mold. So that takes part of the moisture out.
Okay.
And so you can see, hopefully, that it's nice and down in there. It's stuck in that mold. Ooh, look, see, I'm glad I tipped it over because I need to do more on the heart here. I need to push more in. And I need to push more into the A for art because that one actually, you notice. So you can actually see little bubbles in this where you need to push harder to get them
in there.
To get them down in there.
Into the grooves.
And like I said, it took about 2 hours to dry. It wouldn't be quick. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a quick thing. I do have more of the paste left over, so there's other things I can do with that. For instance, you can make paint paste or the things that they used to use in the fronts of the books. I could also make up a different kind of clay using that if I wanted to. But it was easy. I enjoyed doing it. It took up the counter, but
You pulled those words out and have already painted them. You want to hold those?
I've already done some things with it while you were working. I did this little tiny brush.
It's cute. That's toilet paper. That's toilet
Add some
paper, people.
And then I did this word one, and like I said, it didn't come out as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it. And all I did to get the brown on was I took my Distress Ink brown and just put this on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
It
That's
sucked
cool.
it up a lot, and it actually started to, you know, when you put something in like a piece of toilet paper, it starts to bloom
Right.
because it's wet.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened with these words, because I was trying to keep it right on the words.
Right.
But when I tried on the art one right here, I actually used water to spread some of this orange out because I wanted it to be multiple colors,
Mm-hmm.
multiple oranges.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the bloom, but it really didn't work as well. But I also didn't use ink. I used watercolor pencil. So
Okay.
that could be part of it.
Trying different media with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I do have the word creativity. And the one thing with these is they're really easy to break off, and you don't even have to
Yes.
cut them.
Yes.
You could,
paper. It's like thick paper.
it's thick paper. That's exactly what it is.
And
And it tears beautifully and gives you really beautiful hairs
mm-hmm.
coming out. But the one thing you do have to do is you have to flip it over, because if you're doing a word, like the A didn't get it all the way down in, and you could see it sunk in.
Right.
This tip on the C didn't get, and this tip on the C. So you've got to look at it. When I made these, I didn't, because I was in a hurry. I had to feed kittens before I went to the dentist. I had to eat myself. I had to, I had stuff to do this morning, and I just did the ones, that I thought I would want from this one.
Mm-hmm.
But
cool.
I'll see what this does as the whole, because I'm interested to see pulling it off as the entire sheet.
I was going to say, what looks really cool with that, the toilet paper molding is a block of script.
Yeah.
That looks really cool coming out of that, pulling it off as a whole.
So the other thing I want to try, I have this buttonhole jig. Mm-hmm. And it's got this really beautiful flowers on it. Mm-hmm. So I am actually going to take this. I'm going to roll it a little bit. I'm going to set it down. And you can see that it's still sort of coming apart. It's not a pure, like if I was going to do this and I wanted it to be pure, I might add a little bit more paste to it.
Right. Because
it is a little wet.
It's starting to get a little.
And I also think putting it in the refrigerator makes it a little more wet too, because it stays in a humid thing. So I'm going to push this down here just to see what putting one into it will do. And I'm going to take my water and I'm going to spritz it like that. And I'm going to try to see if I can get it to lay down a little better.
Yeah. And I would leave it sit there for a few hours.
And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it down into it like that. And you can see water coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm just going to take this and push it down again and push it around it. And we'll see what happens when that comes out.
Wait till it's dry.
Yep. And see if of course I put it right in the middle of my mat. Like I can't do anything else. You might be able to take a putty knife and get under. Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do that. So that was the other thing I was going to do with that. Cool. Actually, it doesn't make a very good impression, but if it was deeper, maybe.
I would think if you let it sit there until it is dry, right. Otherwise the water's just gonna just come back and fill in with that. While she was talking, it made me think of something. Toilet paper versus using Kleenex. Yeah. So toilet paper is engineered to fall apart when it gets wet. And Kleenex is engineered to hold together when it gets wet. So Kleenex is not going to work the same. It's not going to give you the same result as the toilet paper does, because we want it to fall apart and then mix with the water and then mix with the glue, the paste. And you can use glue, or you can make your own paste from flour and water. Either way, it doesn't matter. You could do what she did just with the toilet paper and the water, and then you could just add Elmer's glue or tacky glue, whatever you have. Use that. So, Candy, can I put it on you and let's show them what you've been doing?
Making a mess.
Make a mess.
Got that damask there on the left, the one we just pulled out in the metallic blue.
Okay, well, I've been doing these. These were gold and blue cream paste. I've been squirting ink on them and black paint.
Okay.
Same with those. I need these for the project I'm working on.
That's cool looking.
Those colors.
Yeah.
And the butterflies.
Oh, pretty.
These got the sprays, distress sprays underneath.
Uh-huh. Oh, pretty.
And then some of the stardust pigments on top.
Okay. Oh, pretty. I like that.
This has the stardust pigments. This was cream paste blue and gold on a
Like that.
up there.
And then just add a little bit additional color, but that blue and gold is a very cool base.
Yeah. This is the black with the stardust pigments.
Wow. Like that a lot.
This is with mica powders. And
So that's a chunk out of the Japanese.
yeah, it's made with the gilding gum
Mm-hmm.
and mica powders.
That's cool.
This is a stardust pigments again.
That's cool. The dragonfly.
This is the vintage patinas.
I like that.
Yeah. The
And
patinas were great.
I'm getting ready to add some. I need some orange in it. So I've got some of the lunar paste.
Lunar paste on that.
The roar. I think I'm going to put some
Yeah.
roar and some
Get a little more rusty
green.
look.
A little bit more green in it.
Okay.
So that's what I've been working on.
That's what you've been working on. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm working on that that uniform.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. So I took the telephone. This is the Lady Vagabond telephone, which was just white. I had not gessoed it. And I've just decoupaged a napkin on it.
Oh, that's pretty.
So I want to let it dry completely. And this is something I've had in my mind to try, and I hadn't. So I thought I would just wait and try it with you guys. But I see now that I should have done one ahead of time so that it could be dried. I want to let it dry completely. I'm going to make sure that all the grooves are in there nicely. Once it dries completely, then what I want to do is go over it with Vintage Photo to just hit all those edges, the edges of the numbers, the edge of the center circle, and the thing over here, and so that you see that little bit of the phone there, but you still have that bird head. Probably be able to tell it's a bird when it's dry. Bird and butterfly. So I actually put one over the top of this and realized that with the black gesso behind it, I couldn't even see. And even when it was dry, I knew I wouldn't see the napkin. So I pulled the napkin off. And then I could put white napkin over it, but what does that matter? The black would still come through. So
It would make it look a little gray compared to.
Yeah. So these, I did that black acrylic paint, and then I just dabbed a little bit of it off. Maybe too much off on that one. Not quite as much on this one, but I don't really like this one. It means I just have to keep trying other things on it. I'm not sure, what I want to do on it, but it's got like some flowers and things. That one's wood grain, so I'll keep playing with that one. That one has flowers all over it. And that one I covered with collage gel because I was going to put the napkin on it and then realized that napkin, no good. This is the Stardust pigments like Candy's using. So, and this is not one of these molds. It's one that I've had from a long, long time ago. But I did just what she's doing with the Stardust pigments. Just, put the gold, and then I went inside with a little bit of the Rose Nebula. And then whatever I put that with, I'll do something that's in the center, that that accents the colors. And I may add other color when I go to use it. So these are the Stardust pigments. This is Martian copper. They're in tiny little containers, and you don't need much at all. That's why they're in tiny containers. I've used a lot of mine. I've done a lot of things, and I still have plenty in there. And you use them with the little container of beeswax. You can use any beeswax. It just needs to be polished. Soft enough that you can take it like this. Don't get my fingernail in it. So you take the beeswax, a little bit of beeswax, and you put it on. Let's find something. You do a little gear here. And you take the beeswax. What color do we want the gear to be? About silver, and then maybe a little bit of, I should probably put the lid back on this and move it out of my way. All right, so I'm going to open up the Nebula Rose, which is very pretty, and the Silver Moon.
J-Mac is asking what type of adhesive to use on the mold to attach them to other materials like wood, acrylic, or glass.
You can use a modeling paste or a heavy body paste. They work great. The mixed media modeling paste, the mixed media heavy body paste, the mixed media glue. I did not bring one of those up. Here's the heavy body paste. Do I have one? I don't have one right here. Stamperia has a mixed media glue. Mixed media glue. And that is really good for all of these things. And that's probably the only thing we didn't look up, huh, Candy? So actually, I just did that wrong. It'll still work, but I can look that up. That's way too much. All right, where's my towel? I just got way more on there than I wanted to, and I did it kind of backwards. So, oh well. I can fix it, but I want to just show you how to use it. You just take you get a little bit of the wax on your hand, on your finger, and then you go directly into the pigment, that Stardust pigment, and you get a little bit of that. And then you come rub it on together. So you're rubbing on the wax and the pigment at the same time. Anything that is a powder needs something. It needs a carrier to stick, right? So beeswax is a great carrier. That little tiny bit of powder that I had on my finger, I could still do more. That's probably more than I would even want there. Just covered that. But now I would probably add just a tiny bit of something else, you know, maybe a little gold or even a little bit of silver or a little bit of gold. I don't have the gold open. I've got the silver right here. A little bit of silver around it right there. And over the top makes it stand out a little bit. And then I might even just take a little bit of black something and go in right along the edge of it. It is kind of black. I don't know if you can see because it is so metallic. It's so metallic that the camera just has a hard time with it. But at the base of the words, you can see all the black there. I'm going to go to this. What is that? Astral green. I'm going to get just a tiny bit of astral green. Trying not to even get in it, but just get something off the edge. And just rub a little bit of that astral green on there too, just to show you kind of the colors. So you can add whatever colors you want. I don't have the blue. I dropped the blue, and I didn't get down under my desk to get it. But here are the 6 colors. Actually, that one is not anymore. What's the 6th? Silver gold, astral green, nebula rose, copper Martian. Anyway, there's golden sun. There's 6 of them. Instead of this one, which is what is it called? It's a iridescent, it's blue instead of that one. So those are the colors though that are available. So, but that's how you use
I
it.
thought the cosmic one wasn't available.
Cosmic one isn't, but the blue is.
Okay.
So instead of this, the cosmic, which is iridescent, that we don't have that one anymore, but it's blue instead. So that would be blue. I know that's the blue that was on Sir Vagabond's collar here. It's gorgeous blue. So there's the 6 colors right there. So we will take just a minute for, rather than me get a bunch of messages after and trying to deal with it while trying to get orders still prepared from retreat, we will take just a minute and let you know what molds we have in stock. We do have cream paste in white and silver and blue, no gold. We have modeling paste and we have heavy body paste.
We'll put them in. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll let you know what molds we have. So if anybody's interested in those. Now, before we do that, let me take just a minute and tell you that we're going to change up a little bit here. We're coming into summer, and we're going to change up a little bit. Oh, I wanted to try to pull these out. I don't know if they're done yet, but we'll try. We're going to do a little bit of change up for summer, and we are not going to have Monday Jumpstart on Monday anymore. And we are instead going to meet every single Saturday. But it's not going to be Saturday night live. It is going to be a Saturday afternoon or late morning or morning, depending on where you're at. And that will be both sale and crafting time. So I get a lot of messages. When's the next sale? When's the next sale? And it's hard to fit them in. And we want more crafting time together. And we want time to be able to show you how to use the things at the sales. So we're going to bundle it all together. And every single Saturday at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12 are the times, we are going to meet. And we'll have some crafting time and some sale time. So it'll be a small sale, a short sale, because we're not going to do 3 or 4 hours. We're not going to do the long ones like we've done in the past. Instead of long ones, we'll do it more frequently. We'll do it every Saturday. So we're going to try that. And so in the spirit of that is why we pulled all these out today. There's a book spine. So I just need to either tear or cut this excess. It tears right off easily. This is paste. I can tell this is cream paste because of what's tearing off the edge. So that's a little bit thick, but I put it in anyway to see how it would work. Because it is a texture impressions and it worked just fine. And I wanted to try that because I wanted these to be a little flexible so I could actually put them on the spine of a little book that I'm making.
We won't do the sale until towards the end, Lucy.
What?
Oh, I think that you mean I have to get up early every Saturday?
Every Saturday. So going along with that, you might want to make sure you're there because there are going to be a couple of different price points with our products. Now, you know that we run all the orders through the website. And when they run through the website, of course, Shopify takes a piece and the credit card processor takes a piece and PayPal takes a piece and the credit card company everybody takes their piece, you know, and that's okay. That's part of business. It's totally okay. But we are going to offer a deeper discount. There's always the discount on the website. There will be a deeper discount than what is on the website at the live sales. So if you are at the live sale and we have something there that day for sale, it will be a little bit less than it is on the website. That doesn't mean you can't still go get it on the website. You can. Anybody who watches later after the fact, they can go to the website and get it. They will pay the website price. But if you're at the live and you order at the live, then you can get the live price with a little deeper discount. We felt like those who take the time to come be at the lives deserve a little bit of a bonus there. And so a little deeper discount. So that's how that's going to be.
It's
So,
way earlier, Julie. It's in the morning, our time.
Yeah, instead of 6 o'clock at night, for me, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's 8 hours earlier. 8 hours earlier than it used to. But doing it this way at this time, I will be able to do it every Saturday. If we do it at night, I can't. I can't do it every Saturday. Saturday nights are becoming more difficult for me anyway. So we'll just move it up. We'll just move it up. We'll try this and see how this works for all of us for a little while. Okay. So, Candy, how would you like to handle? You want me to pull up the molds first and just show what molds I have?
Whatever. Put them up one at a time. Put them out there.
As they just tip over. Okay, those are done. I can't wait to use these little book spines. All right, so let's pull up. Let's start with the texture because that's the stack that is closest. The texture impression. That's the smaller mold. And Candy, what is the live price on the
$5.25.
Okay, I'm going to put the lids on these because I know from experience what happens when I don't. And all I didn't think about was pulling out letters because we can do an A, B, C, and B much faster on these. Okay, who can? Oh, there it is. The lid. I know the lid is there. All right. So there's a lot of other things that I think we can try with these, and I'm sure will work. There's just fun to play with. So I'm going to let that one dry. Let's get these out of the way. Okay. So these are the texture impressions, which is that smaller size. I'm going to get the black piece of paper back because we need to be able to see them. Maybe we'll just do an A and B because that's all the black piece of paper holds. This is A is 564 and B is 563. And I will hold those up closer so that you can see them. Candy will tell you how many we have of each of these without any letters because I'm not going to balance them around. But A is on the left, B is on the right. On the left, A is part of atelier. Or no, it might be part of calligraphy or journal. I'm not sure. It has all the pen nibs on the bottom, which do come out really, really nicely. And this is a really fancy script, alphabet, numbers. In fact, this has got the alphabet in 4, 5, 6 different ways. There's a pen there. It says art and writing. Lots of fun stuff. Ink and a pen nib at the beginning of that. And some borders there. And then this one is the Wall Street Journal. This comes from Sir Vagabond. So, yeah.
You didn't tell me how many you had of that one.
I think only one. Did I give you 563?
Yeah, I got that one.
Okay.
Or 564. You gave me 564.
Okay.
That's the pen nibs.
Right.
563 is B, which is Wall Street Journal.
Right. There's only one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in, ladies.
Okay. So there's other things that we can do with these, and we don't have time to do them today, but other times we will, like using them on the gel plates, using these for the imprint that's on the front here, turning it around and pressing it into the gel plate. I had one prepped to use, but we just don't have time to do it. So we can do it another time. So from Atelier, or no, I actually think this is from calligraphy or journal. I'm not sure which one. Probably journal. I don't know. And this one is
DME wants one of those. A.
Okay. You got it. Okay.
A Mac wants A. 2 left, ladies.
How many of A do we have?
We had 4.
Okay. Let me get. Okay, 564. And that's DME and JMAC. Okay. Okay. Anybody for Wall Street Journal?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, then the next one is 576. And you'll have to remind me how many we have of these because I don't have that in front of me. And 5626. Okay, so 576 is, these are fun ones. There are a number of them that have a lot of little squares. So they come out as individual squares, just like those little tags did. They're awesome to use either as twinchies or on twinchies on ATCs or as charms. They're perfect as little charms, or putting them on tags. So there's all kinds of designs. Words are melody. There's a violin with some script. This says art. This says dream. This says dance. There's music there and music behind the dancer. And B is 5626. That is a damask or damask. I don't know which way you're supposed to say that. That is a damask wallpaper.
It's only 2 and 1.
2 and 1.
Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie. Bye, Felicia. Okay, so let's move right along. A is the one I just am pulling these book spines out of, and this is from the brand new collection, which I love. And we're going to have this at this Saturday's, whatever's left from it from all the pre-orders. Vintage Library, Stamperia's Vintage Library. It is 5648. I love that new collection. It is so pretty. 5648. These are all book spines, different widths, different size, different designs on each one of them. So B is 5607. And I think this one is from Cosmos. There's owls. There's lots of little, this is a tag, even has the hole in it. There's some little cards and tags, but it's all, you can use it as one solid plate, or you can cut it apart into all the little squares, parts and pieces, and tags. These even have the tag corners on them. So if you want to cut it apart and use it as a flexible tag, it's very cool.
Okay, Cheryl, did you pin the box first, or will that be another time? I'm not sure what she's asking.
Did you pin the box first, or will that be another time? Pin the
Open.
box.
Oh, open the box. That's going to be we're probably tonight or tomorrow night.
Oh, sorry. Okay, the box
Yeah,
opening we're going to do tomorrow night. A lot of you are going to get your boxes today. Some probably won't get it until tomorrow. So we'll do the box opening tomorrow night. As soon as we're done here, sorry, Cheryl, a brain lag there for a moment. As soon as we're done here, I'll create that event, so it'll be in there. But we'll do the box.
All right, mold your in, lady.
And keep Wednesday night available too, because Wednesday night we will do a live about retreat, about fall retreat, which is in September.
Lucy will take an A.
5,
You got
6,
one of each left.
5, 6, 4, 8. Thank you, Lucy. I knew you'd like this one. I'm so excited. I love books. This one is so cool. The whole line, the whole collection is so pretty. Okay, we ready? Let's see. Okay, A is 5609 and B is 5603. They're very similar, but extremely different. So they have sections in them. But again, if you put a thick enough back on it so that it comes off as a whole, then you see your sections on the front, but you get it as a whole piece. These are awesome as a whole piece used on the front of a book. Or as you could see what that, like Candy had done, cut a section, cut a chunk out. I had done that on the damask one. So on the left is a lot of script. This is from Alchemy. And there's words down here: fire, air, water, earth, sand, gold, silver, copper, those kinds of things. Then this is foreign alchemy script.
One of each. Linus will take B.
different symbols, the word alchemy, and B is a patchwork. Glynis gets B, 5603. Thank you, Glynis. Okay. So, yeah, the word alchemy, some of the different signs and symbols in the sun, those kinds of things. Getting the next one.
Sarah will take the A.
You got it.
Sarah, there's no B. There was only one of each.
5609 is Sarah. Okay, so the next one is 578. This is the one that DME was using today with the word art, the tiny paintbrush, hearts, creativity. There's tons of stuff on this one. Butterflies, flowers, there's borders, letters, there's script, there's print. Art has a lot to show. Create, love, perfect, make art, and you'll have wings to fly. Lots of stuff on this one. That's a cool one. And B is 515. These are, is that the right? Yeah. These are awesome ones for using on a book because you get corners or cornices or corbels. There's several of them that have different things on them. Or a frame that you could put in the middle of the book.
One of each.
Only one of each? Okay.
Yep. Sarah will take the 578.
Sarah gets 578. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Okay.
Wait. J Mac wants the mask.
5626. Yes, thank you for having the number, J Mac. 5626. J Mac, you got it. Yeah, the number made that quick and easy. Oh, we appreciate that. Okay, A is 5611 and B is 576. No, we already had 576. Sorry, I pulled out a duplicate. B is, that's mine. How'd that get mixed in with those? Mom. B is, oh my goodness. There it is. 577. And this one has, A has the typewriter keys with the letters, the numbers, and some words on the bottom on their own little plates. And B has the dancer and a really nice background. So if you didn't specifically, there's a tiny dancer down here. This says La Dance. If you didn't specifically want the dancer on something, then you could cut around her, or I would put that like on the background or on the cover of a book, and then I would just put something over her, a flower, the color of those.
Their tutus could look like mushrooms, because the one in the bottom right corner, I thought it was a mushroom until I looked.
If you cut off the top of her head, it would. I never thought about that, but that's a really good point. Cut off the top of her head, and it does look like a mushroom.
J-Mac will take B.
You got it. 577. Thank you, J-Mac.
Sarah, it was only one, so you missed out. Sorry.
The typewriter keys and the words are available. That one, and oh, I thought there was one more. Maybe not. Okay. Okay, we're moving on that one. Okay. All right. A, this is the one with Lady Vagabond and Kitty Vagabond's goggles and the telephone, the old rotary telephone. That's the one that I just covered with.
This is an accurate texture.
I'm sorry, this is a texture.
Okay.
Yep, all these are small ones. They're textures. This is
I thought that one was a
5602. And because these are a little thicker, these you can use with clay or paste. Clay or paste. They're not a full background like some of the others. Like this one, I love this one. 542. This is the Japanese lady. You can see there. And there's a whole wall of Japanese writing. There's the dragonfly and bits and pieces of Japanese writing. And she's walking in the rain there. I really like that one a lot. That is 542.
There's only one of each of these two ladies.
Ooh.
Let me double check here. 5, 6, 5, 4, 2. Oh no, there's two of the Japanese lady.
2. Okay. Is there only one of the goggles?
It was was that 5602 or 562 for her?
5602.
Oh, I had 562 on the sheet.
5602.
Lady V goggles. Yeah. Okay.
Lady goggles. Okay.
Sarah will take one of the Japanese ladies.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
The beach left.
542, Sarah. So there's one of each left. Okay. Okay. And there's only 3 of this size left, 3 of the texture left. The first one is 5605. This is from Casa Granada, and it's the plates that are in Casa Granada along the wall of that pretty paper. And so when you put it in here and then you turn it over, you have the plate, like a dish plate. not like a word plate, but a dish plate, and they're up on the wall, so they're really cool with that collection. But I just think they're cool emblems to put on things because they aren't specific in their design. The designs are really, really nice, and a couple of them leave an open center so that you could put something on there if you wanted. So those you could use. Their texture, so you could use either paste or clay with those. And this one, 533, this one I like a lot. This is corners and cornices. So you've got corners to use on a book. You've got corbels there. You've got some flourish. Here's one that would go over the top with a bow and then a cornice up here. So a couple of different cornices to use. Like this one's just like a big ribbon with a bow. Very, if you do this one out of paste, you can cut parts and pieces off too. If you want a smaller piece, I like that one.
We have 2 of A and 1 of B.
Okay. Okay, those still available. Okay, and the last texture. Actually, there are two, but one of them doesn't have the tag on, so I don't know the number. But I have one with the tag on it, so mine that I have not used has a tag, so I'll swap them out and put the tag one, and I'll take this one without the tag. This, I believe it's alchemy, isn't it, with all the words, all the alchemy writing. So this is really cool in the toilet paper technique that Dawn did. And you smash it on the back, smash it into it, let it completely dry. And when you take it out, then you've got this hunk of toilet paper that looks like it looks like clay from 2,000 years ago. And then you can see the script in it. It looks really cool. Looks like it was carved out. And this also alchemy, or is it Cosmo? One of the.
That's Cosmos. We said Cosmos tags on that one.
Okay. These are each.
That's what we're calling it anyway. I don't know if it is or not. J Mac will take. I think she wanted the plates. I mean the corners from the last one. Sorry.
The plate or the corner? The cornices.
Corners was B.
B. Okay, you got it. That is 533. Thank you, J Mac. 533.
And there's one of each of these ladies.
3. Okay. Yeah, this is the one that I had. The little tiny tags. Let's see if there's one. Right,
Sarah will take B.
Thank you, Sarah. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I don't have the number of B. I'm just going to write that. The alchemy's. I'll get it.
That's what I'm calling it.
Alchemy script.
Yeah.
Alchemy script, and that goes to Sarah. Okay. Yeah, these are actually tags. They have the tag corners on the top, and you make them out of paste, and they're flexible. You can take your tool and cut a hole in them if you want to actually put a, a string or something on the top. All right, let me move these down. Okay, why don't we put in the clay while I'm swapping out to the big ones? The Stamperia clay, not the Ranger clay for sure. Well, if anybody wants the Ranger clay for just, molding things that you want in your hands, I'm happy to order it, but I wouldn't use it in these molds.
You didn't give me the price of the stamp for
it was the very, very last thing.
Yeah, it was out of order. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
That's okay. And it was the very last thing we did right before we started.
Okay, she has 3 of the clay, but she can order more, lady. So
I'm actually putting in a Stamperia order this week. So.
can you use resin in these molds?
I wouldn't. Now Stamperia does have a silicone mold. I didn't bring any of those out. I only have a couple of them in stock, but I believe that we could use it in. I'm going to try resin in their silicone mold because I think that we could in the silicone mold, but I don't know. I don't know. I might be willing to sacrifice one of these to try it. I don't know. I don't know how if that plastic is.
Reactive to the.
Yeah, it's not. It's a very flexible plastic, so I'm not sure that I would with resin. I don't know.
You could cut the corner off of one of them, and then put a drop of resin on it and see what it does to the.
Penny says no, don't. It melts.
Okay, thank you, Penny.
Yeah, but I think it'd be fine in the silicone.
Okay, nobody wants the clay.
Okay. All right, so now we're to the maxis. And the maxis you want to use clay in, or the toilet paper, the paper mache. You can also use, I think you could probably use Sculpey if you have Sculpey clay, or some of those other types of dry clays. A is 480 and B is 524. These are not the same, even though they both have squares. A has fancy letters, it's little squares, and B has fancy numbers in little squares, and also designs and things that come along with it.
J-Mag says she order an extra one. She has one coming of the clay. I don't know how much you plan to use.
Well, you did get a bunch of, you got those texture ones, and you got a cream paste. So you can use that cream paste in your texture impression molds. You might want another cream paste so that you have one you can use otherwise as well, because you might go through them making a lot of these kind of things once you see how fun that is, pulling those out of there. Let's see. She got one clay. I would say, let's see if there's other molds that you want, J-Mac. Because if you end up with 4 or 5 other molds that you really like, then maybe you want to, so you can do them multiple times. Okay, nobody on that one.
We haven't got to the cream paste yet, J-Mac. Have to wait.
Yeah, okay, we'll get there. Okay, the next one is Lady Vagabond's Airship, which is 487. So this is Lady Vagabond herself, her airship, propellers, luggage. It's upside down here, but no, it's not. Yes, it is. I don't know. No, it's not. There is Kitty Vagabond, bookshelf of books. I love that. And I forget what it's called, the steering wheel of the ship, of the airship. And then the wheel, the steering wheel of the airship, maybe. I was looking for the Sir Vagabond airship, which was not right beside it, so never mind. Okay, B is another Lady Vagabond, and it's 4520. And this one is Lady Vagabond laying around reading books. She's laying on her back with her feet up. There is a stack of books. This is the one that I just did today. So I did the stack of books here. Got the phonograph, a couple of cats in different poses, the hats with the goggles for her and the cat, the old phone. There's some old bottles that looks cool. Probably only one of each of us remember, but Candy's got it. Nope, there's two. There's two of B, that I know.
Yeah, there's two of B. I'm trying to find.
There's probably only one of A.
Yeah, we get them all out of order, so it's hard to find them sometimes.
Yeah.
4, 8, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There's only one. There's only one.
one of A and
Okay.
two of B. Okay. Oh, if I put more than one together, it makes it easier to see what they are, huh? I think I'll do that. Okay. Moving right along. Okay. A is going to be 4552. I believe this is from one of the new collections, Rose Parfum. And this is perfume bottles. Very cool looking. Because you could color these to look like they're alchemy or perfume or all kinds of different things. These would be awesome for Halloween even. On the bottom is like a shelf of them that could be cut apart, used individually, or used as one large piece. And B is 4518, and this is luggage handle. There are locks, multiple kinds of locks, keys, little labels with where you can put the little brad on the two ends. There are corner pieces, different sizes, locks. There's luggage locks there, different types.
You got 4 of A and 5 of B.
Okay. Okay, moving right along. There is Sir Vagabond's airship that I couldn't find. That is number 4540. There's Sir Vagabond's airship and lots of controls off of his control panel. There's the propeller. So this is the airship from the side, and that's the airship from the top. There's a propeller in the front, as you can see, and that's the tail there. It's pretty cool. And then B is 449. And this is a larger version of the cornices and corners. So there's the one with the ribbon and just ribbon out everywhere. And then there's the cornice. I see how there's a nice delineation point there where you can cut this off and just use that piece. You can cut them both off and use that center flourish. Always look at it in that way. How can I, use parts and pieces of it? And when if you're filling these with clay, you don't have to fill the whole thing. If you know you only want that section for your project, and you want 2 of those, and if you don't fill the center, they won't be stuck together. Just fill from there over on both sides, and you have 2 of those pieces. Don't have to cut them apart.
You have 1 of each of those.
Okay.
Glennis will take A.
Thank you, Glennis. That is 4540. Okay, not too many more. So
J-Mac will take B.
That gets B. Thank you, J-Mac. That is 449. Okay. A is 4536. This is a lot of different clock faces. Very cool. And B is 491. And this is from Amazonia. Animals and birds from Amazonia. Cool birds. Look at the cool sloth up here. I love the sloth. There's some awesome birds, the snake. I don't know if it's an alligator or crocodile. I'm going to say it's probably an alligator.
You got one of each of these.
One of each. Nope. I'm sorry. There's two of this one. I have two right here.
That's the clock faces?
Yep. 4536. There are two. So if I told you one, I was mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, you told me one.
Okay.
So two.
2 and 1.
Okay.
And then there might only be one. Yep, then there's only one left. Okay. I don't know how bad the lag is, but I just don't want to leave it forever. And then this is the last one of the maxis that are here. And this is 4519.
Where's 4517?
451. Well, let me look.
That's the SeaWorld submarine.
Oh, yeah. Where is that one? Let's see. Obviously, I missed one. Oh, there it is. Okay. 4517.
Put 17 first. Put 17 first.
That'll be A, and then 4519 will be B. Okay. Perfect. All right. SeaWorld. There's the submarine door and the anchor. Different ropes. These are cool. 3 different ropes there. Just a lot of nautical stuff. And B is from Lady Vagabond's control panel. This is really cool because it's very flexible is not the word. It's very versatile. So you can take these here and put them with any clock face you want, or draw your own clock face and then put the hands on them if you want to. The hands in the middle there. So these two are gauges from her panel. Well, actually these 3, but then these you can pretty much make them anything you want. You could turn them into frames.
4 of A, 1 of B.
4 of A, 1 of B. Nope.
That's what you told me.
No, B, that's the one where there's a whole bunch.
No, A is the one there's a whole bunch. The submarine.
No.
That's what you told me when we did this ahead of time.
Right, there's 4 of A.
And you only told me 1 of the.
Nope.
Is that the one you had to recount at 11?
Yep.
Oh, 11. Okay. Can't read my own writing because I just scratched it out. 12. No, 12.
Okay.
You said 11, then 12. I have so many scratches on that one. I'm like,
12. 12. He's right. 4 of A and 12 of B.
right. All right. Nothing.
Okay. All right. Then let's see. You asked about paste, so let's put paste. We'll do the cream paste silver, BB, and the cream paste blue will be C. Those are the only 3 cream pastes we have right now.
do the white separate because it's just separate prices, aren't they? There's
Oh,
also
yeah, that is true. Okay, so the cream paste, silver, and blue are the same price. I know they're a little more than the regular cream paste white.
You didn't give me HPP price on those. You're gonna do
I didn't.
12,
What was the retail?
13.
Yeah, we could do 12.
Candy, Penny wants to know where you got your dragonfly one.
Was
One of the molds that she sold.
it was a pink silicone
Yeah, it
mold.
was a pink one. Yeah, it was one of those pink ones like
Dragonfly.
that.
Oh, that's so cute.
This one's cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the little scissors. I can double check, but I don't think there's any more of the dragonfly ones.
She's got 3 silver and 7 blue, ladies. J-Mac will take a silver.
Got it. Okay, silver cream paste. Thank you, J-Mac. Okay, and then let's see, the cream paste. What else was the same price as the cream paste?
Your pasta sculptura.
Pasta sculptura. It's like sculpture without the P. So it's sculptura, pasta sculptura, cream paste, pasta sculptura, and what about the heavy body paste or the modeling paste? Were they the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one are we doing?
Do you want to just do one and be done? Because that's it, isn't it? I think.
No, you got crackle paste, primer, gesso,
Okay.
heavy matte.
Sorry, I didn't bring those up.
C.
I didn't bring those up, so we'll leave those.
What's C?
C is the heavy body paste, and D is the modeling paste.
The matte heavy body paste.
Yes. And we won't do the others. I didn't bring one up.
Oh, I just had to redo everything. I thought you were just doing the cream paste.
I'm sorry.
All right, that's in, ladies. They're all $10, so.
So these are heavier. Like this cream paste is super light. That's a brand new one. This cream paste is super light and fluffy. You know, like it's like marshmallow cream fluff. If you're from back east, it's like fluff. Pasta sculptura is a little thicker and heavier. It's you can see it's like it's thicker, heavier, stickier. You can use, I used pasta sculptura on these because I wanted to see how they'd work, and they're working just fine, but I can tell I probably need to give them another day. The edges are dried, but I think the centers will stick if I pull them out. So, but I can feel that they're heavier than the ones I've done in the cream paste. It's just a thicker, heavier paste. And
they're still very flexible. They're still very flexible with the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're all flexible. The heavy body paste is like really, you know, you just have to get into it like that, where this one was like whipped cream, very light. You can hardly feel like there's anything in the jar because it's like whipped cream. This you can feel the weight. The heavy body paste, you can use this to glue things on the front of your, maybe you're taking some of your parts and pieces and a mixed media and you're gluing them on the front of a book or on a canvas. You can use that for gluing them on. And then the modeling paste, I think This is a brand new one. Yeah, I'm not going to open that yet because I have one around here that's open somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Modeling paste, you can use it to kind of create and build up. So if you're putting things on a canvas, you're making a mixed media piece and you just need to fill in some space here or there, you could stick some modeling paste in there and kind of form it how you want. And you know, it's thick and heavy like the heavy body paste, but it's kind of moldable and will stay where you want it and just kind of
A little bit more like spackle.
create. Yeah, more like spackle. Thank you. That's perfect. Perfect way to say it.
Okay, Lucy and DME want A.
Regular cream paste. You got it. Thank you. White. DME and Lucy. Thank you, DME, and thank you, Lucy. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do the other paste because I didn't bring one up, and it's too hard if you can't see them and get into them. So we probably should have started that just a little bit earlier. I didn't look at the clock, and that's my mistake.
Yeah, you can use all those on stencils, J-Mac.
Yes. One of the good things about the pasta sculptura and the heavy body paste and the modeling paste, when you put them through a stencil and you pick the stencil up, they're going to stay up. They're going to give you that 3D effect that you want. So that's
James wants one of each.
okay. That's why I have all of them open in my drawer. So let's see. You got a silver. Do you want a regular? You got one regular. She already got one of those. Okay.
Wait. We're not on a silver.
Sorry. No, I was just reading here. I was just reading out loud. We're not.
Oh, Yeah, she wants the white cream paste, the pasta sculptura, and
Okay.
the white paste and the modeling paste.
Okay. And here we go. And the heavy body and the modeling. You got it. Okay.
Elisa wants the book spine mold. Hold on.
Hi, Lisa. Oh, yeah, that's such a cool one. The book spine. Let's see. I think that was 5648. Is that right? 5648.
5648.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Elisa.
She got the last one then.
Okay. Yep, that's the last one. And Elisa, do you have clay? Did you need clay? Don't need clay. I'm anxious to play with these little ones that didn't take a lot were done quickly in a day, but these are going to need one more day. I can tell the centers will stick if I pull them out. You can see that the side is dry and ready to come out, but I don't think that the center is quite dry. This is pasta sculptura. This is heavier, much heavier than the cream paste. Not very light, but I wanted to try it and see what it would do.
It dries light though.
Yeah, cool.
It's really light when it dries.
Yeah, well, maybe that tells me too that it's still wet because the whole thing still feels pretty heavy. Because these two are super light.
Yeah, the cream paste is super light.
Yeah, the cream paste is like this one's cream paste. The cream paste is like even a full jar. I always have to open it to see is there still something in there because it just feels like you're throwing a marshmallow around. There's nothing, especially compared to one of these. This feels like a jar full of stuff, and this is just like a cloud.
And the cream paste dries slick. I mean, it's like a smooth. It's really smooth. When you pull it out.
Yes, that is true.
Your pasta sculptura is more chalky when you pull it out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stick.
You can
Your
see
cream paste, when you pull them out and you do them sheets and you put them on top of each other, they'll stick to each other.
Right.
You can pull them apart, but they do stick.
Yeah, you want it once they've been out a while and they're like really dry, they don't stick at all. But once you pull them out, don't layer them up like this because you can pull them apart, but they will kind of stick to each other. These have been out more than a year, and so they're so dry. They're so dry that they're not sticking to each other at all. But this one is specifically is that cream paste, and it is so light that it just feels like a little piece of foam from Dollar Tree. It's just really light.
Cream paste is like shaving cream. Yeah, kind of.
Yes, right. Yeah,
Very,
that's a good way to describe
I'm
it.
asking if you're going to do the waxes and colors today.
We did a little bit. This is these. Oh, you mean sell them? Yes. Sorry, we did get prices on those. So the beeswax comes in a little jar like this. Will last you a very long time. Sorry about that, J-Mac. I totally forgot because I didn't go down into the shop and pull up one of these in that's
beeswax stuff is $7, ladies, and I need to get all the colors.
Do that separately. Okay, so you want to put in just the beeswax then? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I put in just the beeswax.
Okay,
right now.
so just the beeswax. If you want the little jar of beeswax, it'll last you, if this is all you're using it for, it'll last you a long time. The difference between this and a chunk of beeswax is that this is soft and creamy. So you get a little bit of the beeswax on your finger, and then you get a little bit of the powder color. You can also use that with any other color you have, like mica powder or what's the other one? I've got some Porporino or glamour pigments, those kinds of things. You might have these glamour pigments. We had these last year. You could use that with the beeswax. You can use them with water.
Okay, J-Mac and Elisa will take the beeswax.
Okay.
Okay. You said there's 6 colors?
Yes. J-Mac and Elisa. Okay. So if tell you what, on the colors, if Candy just lists all the colors in
Yeah. What are the colors?
when you just put in what color you want, not an A, B, or C. Martian copper, so just copper. Nebula rose. Astral green. Should turn them over so you can see them. Golden sun. Silver moon. And the one that I don't have is that awesome blue. That's the one that fell on the floor and I didn't crawl under the dust to get it. I'm looking for Sir Vagabond.
Blue Neptune?
Blue Neptune. It's this blue.
Yeah. Okay.
So she'll put in the HPP. The price she's putting in is not the retail price. She's putting in the HPP price on everything. So on this, instead of an ABC, just put in what color or colors.
Copper's in right now, ladies.
Or are you going to do them one by one? Okay.
Yeah, it's easier.
Easier.
Okay. Up there. That's the first one, ladies.
Yeah. Okay, so copper is in. That is this one. These are all metallic. They're all meant to be like Cosmo, celestial, star, sky kind of colors. Martian copper. I know they're tiny, but they will last you a long time. That's why you want the beeswax, because then you only get a teeny tiny bit and they spread up. And trust me, use less than you think you need till you get a feel for how well they spread.
All right, Nebula Rose is in.
Nebula Rose is, it's a rich, it's not pink, it's not red.
Yeah, they're a powder pigment.
Yeah, they are powder. Yes, they are powder, and that's why you need that wax. So you get a little bit of the wax on your finger, just a tiny bit. Sometimes I have to do it a few times because I try not to get too much and I don't get any. And then you pick your color, like
is in
Nebula Rose. And then you only need, way too much. Way too much on my finger there. You only need just a tiny bit. It's just,
you can use a brush, a tiny paintbrush too will work.
Yes, a tiny paintbrush works too. But it's amazing how far it spreads. Just this little bit that I had on my finger, I could spread all over his entire hat.
Okay, Sarah will take the copper, green, and the blue Neptune.
Sarah, copper, green, and blue. Okay, thank you, Sarah. So just that little bit that I had on my hand, for these I have to bring that light back. Did his whole hat.
Okay. J-Mac wants one of each.
And I still have a little bit on my finger. J-Mac, one of each, so that's 6. All 6 colors. Thank you, J-Mac. Should have done that copper. I really like that copper.
Yeah, Lucy, the beeswax is the binder for these.
Yep. And I found that I can use this beeswax on the Porporino or on these glamour pigments or on mica powder or on anything powder. Anything powder needs a binder. And sometimes it's water, sometimes it's alcohol, sometimes it's whatever it is. But beeswax works great. So here you go. There's the copper. There's the blue. There's the rose and the astral green. What didn't I get on here? I didn't get the silver or gold. There's one more that I didn't get somewhere. Yeah, and it's almost hard to not get. I've been using a teeny tiny brush because
it's easier with a brush.
It's hard not to get too much. I'm going to put that directly on the white, and you'll see it still gives you that that astral cosmic shimmer. But you see why I like the black gesso on so many things that I put it on. The difference in that with the green and over on this side. Let's see, put a little green over here. He's just going to be a multicolored vagabond. Some of that has to be green there. Some of those, like the round ones and the ones that with the suns and the moons and things, would look really cool with these colors rubbed on, just rubbed over the top a bit. A little bit of a green rim there.
Okay, J-Mac, here, the stamp period gesso is in, it's $10.
I do have black gesso. It's not Stamperia. It's Finnabar. And I did not pull that out, and I did not give that to Candy for price, so I'd have to look that up. If you want black gesso, I do have, I think it's Finnabar. It might be Dina Wakely. I don't know. Either way, I really like it. But if you're interested in black gesso, just say something and I will make a note and I will go check that out and then get back to you personally on that.
You want just a white gesso? Hey, Mac.
Yes, it doesn't have the black. They just have the white. You can add you can add color to it. This is very cool.
Okay. Whichever is...
Okay, gesso.
Whichever is what? Whichever is fine. Well, which one do you want? She's got both. You want white or black?
White or black, one of each. Totally up to you.
One white, she said. Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
And that... Here's mine. That will look like this one, except it won't be dented because I won't drop it. There's the gesso. I promise I won't drop yours. There's the texture paste.
Yeah, ladies, one of the reasons we want to do the lives and not have you PM her so often is she's running out of time to, once she answers all your questions, she can't get some other stuff done. So during the lives, you can only order during the live. After that, we're going to make you go to the website eventually. And it's almost ready to go, ladies. So
yeah, it is almost ready to go. It's somebody's been working on it all month.
The black also, so whatever one you have.
I'm sorry, say that again.
J-Mac wants a black.
You got it.
That's fine, J-Mac.
Great. That's, yeah, no problem, J-Mac.
It's the first time we're doing it this way, so I know.
And it doesn't mean you can't ever message me for something.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that. It's just that we're trying to cut down on some of it.
Trying to streamline things and make it a little easier for you to get it, all the things that go together in one place at the live, and also a chance to see them demonstrated, because a lot of you buy things and that you're not sure how to use them, but you know they're cool, and so we want to be able to use them, show you, so that you don't get stuff and have it just sit there, but you actually get a chance to use it.
J-Mac says you don't need to message her about the black gesso, just add whatever one you have.
Okay.
Just let me know the price.
Got it. Thank you. And J-Mac, I still didn't add that rice paper glue on. Did you notice? So we'll add rice paper glue on as well.
Rice paper glue?
Yes. I'll get the price for you later. Yeah, she reminded me twice, and I still got her invoice out without it. So
okay. All right, I'll add it.
I hope so.
We're trying to make things a little bit easier
for everybody. And our hope is that it is more helpful to you to be able to see things used and be able to ask your questions live and know how they're used. So
and the other thing is she's going to pack the box and ship it.
Yeah. Some people are saying, what are you talking about? Of course she is.
Well, she's running out of space to hold a lot of boxes.
Yeah,
so unless you're from Canada and it's a special thing.
Canada, your boxes will still be held.
Elisa, you probably missed the first part of this. The sales, she's going to, we're starting a new schedule starting Saturday. We're going to do Saturday lives at 10 o'clock Mountain Time and do a crafting and a sale every Saturday. Yeah. We're not going to do Mondays anymore. So, she wants mixed media glue too.
Okay, you got it.
J-Mac mixed media.
Yep. Just drop my pen too. Mixed media glue. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to make it easier for you to see everything together that goes together, to learn how to use it, to be able to ask your questions, make it less confusing for you as well, and be able to do it more frequently. So this way we can do it every Saturday, and it'll be 9, 10, 11, and 12, depending what time zone you're in. 9, 10, 11, 12.
11, Lisa.
We will start with this Saturday. So this Saturday, 9 Pacific, 10 Mountain, 11 Central, and 12 Eastern, we will start this Saturday. I can tell you that this Saturday for the sale, we will have new paper and some other things that go along with the new paper. So like the new vintage library collection from Stamperia, and there's rice paper with it, and there's some stencils with it, things like that. So we'll have those things that go along with it. But then there's some brand new paper from some other places too. So we'll have new paper, and we'll have some books. So I have really been going through and purging books, and I've saved some of the best ones for the sales. But instead of just doing a whole sale of books, I'll just bring one small box of books to each sale, and I'll try to let you know ahead of time. There's some really, really old albums with cabinet cards. There's old ledgers. There's some just 100-year-old books. There's books that have great pages. There's a few books I kept that I thought some of you might want for the topic, not necessarily, just to tear apart. So, and all these books are going to be priced to go, because they're taking the space where all of the shop inventory needs to go. So
she's going to try to make a post like, let's say Thursday or Friday before the sale to let you know what we'll be doing that Saturday, what we'll be selling.
If you add to paint.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll bring that.
So you have to I do have that. J-Mac. Rice paper glue. I do. Yes, I do have rice paper glue. I do have rice paper. You know what? I'll bring the rice paper glue out on Saturday, because we'll have the rice paper from the vintage library.
Sylvia, I prefer the matte media.
And they've got a new rice paper glue. So I've got that one in the little bottle that you tried, and then they've got a new one in a tub like this.
Oh, the tub might be better. I didn't like squirting it out. That's ridiculous.
It's a brand new rice paper glue. So I've not tried it. It just came in. J-Mac's getting the first one. Yeah. So we'll actually we can try that. I'll try that one on Saturday, demonstrate it so you can actually see firsthand, first time what it is like.
What
So
is the washable stuff? What is that?
JMac, I do have that. I forget what it's called. I know that I have only a few. I probably have 3 or 4, maybe 5. It's stuff that you do maybe you do want to do something on a plate or something, and then it's washable.
Waterproof.
I forgot what it's called. It's like if you're decoupaging or
Dishwasher
painting.
safe.
It is, yeah. I'll take it, send it to you, JMac, and make sure that that's what you're thinking. I'll make sure that if that's the same stuff that you're thinking of, because if it's not, then I don't know. I haven't tried it. I have not tried it. Got it, but haven't tried it. So I can tell you that for Saturday that there will be some old books and there will be brand new paper. We'll do the paper first. So probably what we'll do first is do something with the rice paper glue so we can all see how the new rice paper glue is. And then we'll go right into the sale and we'll do the vintage library and all the accoutrements with that. And then we'll do the other brand new paper that I have. The people from Retreat have seen the other brand new paper, but nobody else has. So I'm anxious to get that out and show you. It's pretty cool. Okay. I'll go check and see what they did. That's, yeah.
On fabric. Cool.
Yeah, it is cool. You can do it on fabric. On the stone paper is also washable. Did they use the stone paper or the fabric this morning? Because the stone paper is actually like a fabric. You can wad it up, you can paint on it, and as long as it's not water-based paint, maybe you alcohol ink, whatever you do on it, or seal it, and then you can put it through the dishwasher or the wash machine. It is washable. The stone paper is. You can't tear it. I'll go check it out, JMac, and see which one they used.
Right.
They want rice paper glue. Okay.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff this week, Sylvia. We'll be thinking of you, Sylvia.
Yes. Ride your broom, Sylvia. Ride the broom.
Yes,
JMac
right.
said they did fabric, but they mentioned stone paper.
Okay. 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 I saw one of them make a handbag, a purse out of stone paper. It was very cool. And I just want to make one. But I need to do art on it first and then make it. So then it's my own art purse. That would be a whole, you know what? That would be a very cool virtual retreat class, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That was what made me ask about it earlier today. Was I had seen the purse made out of it.
Did you see her purse? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like 2 years ago she did that.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. Yeah. And I still have in my mind that I want to do a purse because of that. It was good. It was really good. So, okay. So we're excited to try a new format on Saturday. However, tomorrow night, I'm going to create the event right now as soon as we're done. But tomorrow night, we're doing the live box opening of the Happy Paper box. A lot of them will be delivered today, and probably the rest of them should be delivered tomorrow. And then Wednesday night, don't miss Wednesday night. Wednesday night, we're going to do a live about retreat, about September of 2023. It's coming up, about the September retreat. So don't want you to miss that. That's going to be awesome. A couple little surprises there. And yeah, so I'm excited because I get to see you today. I get to see you tomorrow. I get to see you Wednesday. And I'm going to have to do some work during the days. And then on Saturday again, they were making bags with stencils, mixed it with the paint, and it's washable. Ooh, I will go check it out. We made one at the Stamperia retreat last year. Ow!
Yeah, we know we rock JMac. We're awesome.
Thanks, JMac. We only rock because you're here. If you weren't here, we can't rock by ourselves. So we do appreciate you. We do appreciate you. I'm gonna go check that out though this morning. This morning's live. Thanks for letting me know about that, JMac. I'll see what they were using. I'll make sure it's what I have, and then I'll message you and let you know that I do have it. Okay. Meanwhile, Candy will be getting the all of these items entered into the website to get those invoices. I'll get the shipping added on. Some of you might still have an order to go out from before. If so, they can go together to save some shipping.
Fabric. Linda says golden GAC 900 is fabric medium.
Golden GAC 900 fabric medium. Okay. And we appreciate you too. Thank you.
We do. We love you, ladies. We love you all.
We do appreciate y'all. So we will see you all. Wait. There is one other thing. Now, probably the people who really do need to hear it are probably not here, but I'm going to say it anyway. We are instituting a new process along with this because we're going to be doing some sort of sale with the crafting every Saturday. They'll be shorter, smaller sales. They're not going to be long ones because we're doing some crafting along with it. But we need to make sure that all outstanding invoices are paid in full before someone orders from the next sale. So I don't think anyone here has outstanding invoices anyway. So, but just know that like this Saturday's invoice will need to be paid in full before the next Saturday comes along, and we create a new invoice there. It gets. I know I've been really lenient on that, and I will take responsibility for that. But I will say that it's become very, very difficult to manage. And it's very difficult not to make mistakes and not to have things get lost and all entangled when we cannot close out a sale before opening another one. And it is very difficult for bookkeeping. And the new bookkeeper on the team is not very thrilled about things that are not very clean. So it's a whole lot easier all the way around. And we don't really want people to order if they're not able to work it into their budget right now anyway. Not because we don't want the order, but because we care more about the people than the money. And we don't want anybody in a hardship because they're ordering art supplies or craft supplies. So if it's not something that can be worked in right now, it can always wait until next time. But we do need to make sure that each invoice is paid in full and closed out before the next sale comes around each week. So, and I'll say that again at the beginning of the sale on Saturday, because I know that most of the people that probably we want to hear that are not here. So please don't anyone take that personally. It's not a personal thing. It's just become too difficult to manage everything. My brain only works so many ways at the same time. So, all right. So I'm excited. I'll see you tomorrow night with a live box opening. And
my desk. Oh my God.
Your desk. Oh, that's right. You were doing it along with me. Yeah. Wait a minute.
I made a mess.
There we go.
Oh, it's all pushed up here while I did this.
Oh, I was going to say.
All up here. Says it was drying, so I couldn't.
Those are going to be cool. I can't wait to see those.
Yeah.
Get them all done. They're going to look really awesome. Oh, DM's coloring more toilet paper. I just love to say that. It just sounds funny.
I love me some toilet paper.
I like that you get that whole mold.
Her desk is too clean.
I know. Look at that. That's because she only has one mold.
Yours?
Oh.
I know.
You know what? Actually, no, it's not.
Oh, okay. All right. You had me fooled there for a minute.
Now we feel better. But I'll tell you what. My place is getting cleaned up. I made a big dent this weekend.
Oh, tell them to do thumbs up, ladies. Don't forget to do thumbs up before you leave.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I forgot. Where'd Margie go?
She might have had company come over. Yeah, Margie's usually on you guys for the thumbs up. And then Sylvia picks it up if Margie forgets. So thank you. Yeah, we do appreciate it. Don't forget, I think we're getting right close to 900. So we're about 100 subscribers away from giving away this box of craft supplies. And we're going to do it. We're still going to do it. Love the molded TP. I do too. It's going to be awesome when that comes out. I love that she did that whole sheet. When that whole thing comes out, it's going to look really cool. Really cool.
I'll put it on the Facebook page.
For sure. You know, another thing that you can do with these is sprays. Candy was using sprays. I didn't pull out any sprays to use it. Yeah.
And actually, I touched marker to the back of this one. Just to see what it would do. And you actually could probably add some you know what I mean?
You could.
Wet.
Probably.
You could do some watercolor and let it soak into. Yeah. Yeah. You can do anything with it. And yeah, toilet paper, you can get one roll. You can get a lot of molds out of one roll. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I love seeing all the stuff you guys have made. So if you guys are using your molds and make some things, please post them because that is inspiring. And oh, Carrie, did you leave and come back? We just finished talking about the new schedule and what's going on. So tomorrow night, box opening. Wednesday night, we're going to talk about retreat. Saturday, we'll do our new Saturday afternoon sale and craft. So thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks, Candy and DM, for helping out and showing your talents there because you did completely different things than I did. So it's awesome. Now look at Candy will be about 2 minutes and she'll be perfectly clean.
No, I will not. I just can't handle this.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Love y'all.
All right. Love you, ladies.
See you tomorrow.